So far in 2002, the Reds-Cardinals series has belonged to the Redbirds, using defense, offense, and some high fives to win 5 of the 7 games. Tonight, Tony La Russa and Bob Boone turn this series over to their young stars as the Reds and the Cardinals meet in the first of 3. Next up, Joey Hamilton gets the ball, hopes to kiss the Cardinals goodbye on Fox Sports Net. Live from hot and steamy Cincinnati, Fox Sports Net presents Cincinnati Reds baseball. Tonight, it's the Reds against the Cardinals, game 1 of a 3-game set. Hi, hello, and welcome to the Queen City, everybody. Along with the crafty left-hander Chris Welch, I'm George Grant. Important you bet it is. The Cardinals have won 5 of the 7 games played between these two teams. No, it's not September, but it's still important to make a statement.
Well, you still want to make a statement. You want to position yourself as a team that can hang with the big boys. A big win against the Atlanta Braves over the weekend. They didn't want to get out of town by being swept by the Braves, and the Reds feel the same way about the St. Louis Cardinals. That's why tonight and tomorrow's game, very important, George. 2 games are all that separate these two teams, and the big boy, though, however, Jim Edmonds, is out of the Cardinals lineup tonight. That's a big advantage for the Reds.
Hey, you talk to the two managers. They want to downplay the head-to-head meeting. They talk about the marathon, not just the sprint, but the players know how important this is. Let's begin with Adam Dunn.
You know, people making a lot out of it. I mean, it's a big series anytime you can play the, second place team. But, this is not life or death series. We need to go out there and play well and prove to these guys that we can beat them. But as for life or death, I mean, it's still a long way to go.
Well, I wouldn't say it's huge, but obviously when a team's ahead of you, you want to win the series and try to go out there and gain some ground. But it's early June, and it's not that big of a deal. But still, anytime you get a chance to face the teams that are in front of you, you want to try to make something happen.
We look at it as we want to go out and win tonight and try and win the series and go from there. They're all big, especially this early, and but I'm sure with the buzz and everything, it's going to be a pretty good atmosphere, and hopefully we can go out and get some W's.
Top to bottom, their lineup is tough. Their pitching, their starting pitching particularly, and their bullpen's been terrific. They've got a lot of quality people on their ball club, and that's why they were picked to win the whole thing at the start of the season, and that hasn't changed any. We know how good they are.
So it's a setup for game 1 of this 3-game set, and yes, it's not September, but Chris, I think it's pretty clear that the Cardinals believe, after beating up on the Astros pretty good this year, that the Reds are the team they have to beat.
Oh, the Reds are ahead of them right now. If the Cardinals sweep this series, they leave town in first place. If the Reds sweep the series, they'll be up by 5 when the Cardinals leave town. Probably what will happen is something in between those two, but either way, it's a big series. You want to talk about momentum before you go into interleague play? This is the time you have to put some wins on the board.
Strap yourself in, dust yourself off. We'll start it all over again. Reds against the Redbirds. Coming up next, who'll be high-fiving when this one is over? Baseball's next. In Cincinnati, and so is baseball tonight. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. By Biggs, the home of the true minimum price. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. By Provident Bank, your place for winning advice. By the Ohio Lottery. Mega Millions is now in Ohio. For mega jackpots, play Mega Millions today. By your local Dodge dealer. Grab life by the horns. And by Skyline Chili. Game time or any time when you're feeling good and hungry. Hey, it's Skyline time. Skyline Chili, the official chili of the Cincinnati Reds.
I'm Channel 9 Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. We may see a stray shower or thunderstorm at the game tonight. Otherwise, it will be warm. It will be humid. A game time temperature near 80. And we'll have a southwest wind around 5 to 10. Hope it's a good one. Try to stay cool.
Let's check our Chevrolet starting lineup for Tony La Russa and the St. Louis Cardinals, who come in 2 games behind the Reds. Fernando Vina will lead it off. Kerry Robinson will be your left fielder. He'll bat in the number 2 spot. J.D. Drew will hit in the number 3 spot. Drew at Cinergy, 24 games, 5 homers, 8 in his career against Cincinnati. Pujols, Martinez, Renteria, that's the middle part of the lineup. Eli Marrero will play center. Edmonds is out again with a bad wrist. Matheny behind the plate. There's your 1 through 9, your starting Chevrolet lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's go back. Remember this one, Chris? J.D. Drew capped the 10-8 comeback victory here. That was a dagger in the Reds' heart.
Yeah, it was really a ball game that turned the season around for the St. Louis Cardinals. They were a team that was really trying to find themselves. After that, they went on a hot streak, and all due to that comeback.
J.D. Drew, 8 career home runs against the Reds. That clearly, in addition to his first career home run as a major leaguer, was the biggest one that he'll remember. Let's take a look at our G pitching matchup. Joey Hamilton goes tonight for Cincinnati.
3-2 overall for Joey Hamilton. You see him career-wise against St. Louis. Forget those numbers. That was 4 years ago since he has ever pitched against the Cardinal ball club. But he's coming off a very good start. Hamilton is. If he gets his control down, he'll be a tough hombre tonight.
Joey Hamilton against Jason Simontacchi. That's your pitching lineup, your G pitching lineup. Coming up, high fives around for the Cardinals, or will they belong to the Reds? We'll find out. Baseball's next on Fox Sports Net. Ready to play baseball in Cincinnati. Fernando Vina will step in to face Joey Hamilton. As usual, Aaron Boone 3 steps in front of the bag at third. Vina, one of the best bunters in the league. He led the league last year in the most number of bunts attempted. They'll either slap a bunt down or try to slap the ball past that third baseman, so you have to be very cautious with him at the plate. Fernando steps in. 287, a homer, and 24 knocked in. He hit 300 last year and won the Gold Glove. The Reds have faced a series of outstanding leadoff hitters. Luis Castillo is at the longest hitting streak for the Florida Marlins this year. Maintained that streak in the 3-game series against the Reds. Very similar way here. And Juan Pierre for Colorado. 3 guys who are triggers to their offense. Joey Hamilton on the mound, and Chris Hamilton looking for another start like you wound up with in Florida.
Yeah, he had a very good start his last time out. He's a guy that didn't look like he had good stuff early on, but he stayed with it and used a good sinker in that ball game. You just have to figure that as Joey Hamilton works his way further and further into the season, he's going to get stronger and stronger. He's a guy that relies mostly on a sinking fastball, and once you start getting your release point down on that and you can keep it down around the knees, you get ground balls almost at will.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Vina. That's it on the inside corner. Vina says can't be. It's got to be high. The final decision will be Doug Eddings. He gets the call. Vina's still barking at him as he heads towards the dugout. And look out, once you take the mask off, you're in for trouble. Over comes Miguel Cairo, the number 2 hitter. They don't want to lose Vina after the first at bat of this critical series.
Well, you got to figure Fernando Vina off of Joey Hamilton. He's looking downstairs, but that ball had great sink on it. Even though it started at the letters, it came down around the waist. He thinks it was too high. That may have been the best fastball velocity-wise Hamilton's thrown this year. 94 miles an hour on the gun. That's pretty firm.
The good news is you head back to the bench. Everybody will agree with you. The bad news is not going to change it. It's a call, strike 3. There's one away. Here's Miguel Cairo, lineup change for the Cardinals. Cardinals had an original lineup of Cairo in it. Then they had Kerry Robinson in it. And evidently they've gone back to the original one. Here's Miguel, a very valuable utility guy. The big key for the Cardinals in this opening game of the series is Jim Edmonds, who's been a Reds killer, is not in the lineup. He jammed his right wrist in a slide at home plate the other day. Said before the game today he feels better, but not 100% yet. So he may sit out today and possibly even tomorrow. They hope that they'll get him back in the lineup by the end of the series. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Broken bat pop. Casey's there. Got it. 2 away. Let's check your forward defensive alignment for the Reds, who come in 14th in the league in defense with 45 errors on the year. Walker, Casey, right side of the infield. Casey playing with a slightly tweaked hamstring. Larkin and Boone on the left side. Adam Dunn's in left. Griffey back in center. Encarnacion will be in right today, as Austin Kearns will sit. And Jason LaRue's thrown out 50% of the runners who tried to steal against him behind the plate. That's your forward defensive alignment. Here's J.D. Drew. Takes a little bit off, does Hamilton. Way out in front is J.D. And Chris, you got to change speeds on this guy. He'll hit your best fastball any night.
He is a good fastball hitter, no doubt about it. He was geared up for that number 1.
Takes it off again. Way out in front, J.D. asking, is that a strike? Probably would have been anyways, and it's 0-2. Only 143, but the big homer on May the 12th. J.D. has had some big hits against Cincinnati in his career. As J.D. brought the bat back, it hit LaRue's glove, so time called, and we'll do it all over again. 0-2.
We talk about Chris Rietzman and his ability to go back-to-back-to-back changeups. You just saw that from Joey Hamilton, 3 in a row, but that last one was a waste pitch.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Drew. He'll be followed by Pujols. Tino Martinez hitting 5th tonight. Cardinals have been hitting the ball well, playing great baseball. They've been the hottest team in the league for the better part of the last 3 weeks. A swing and a miss. He gets him on 3 off-speed pitches. 2 strikeouts in the first for Joey Hamilton. To the bottom of 1, Larkin, Dunn, and Griffey go to the bat rack for Cincinnati. Check our Chevrolet starting lineup for Bob Boone and the Cincinnati Reds, who come in 2 games ahead of the Cardinals in the Central Division. Barry Larkin back in the leadoff spot. Adam Dunn will bat second tonight. And Ken Griffey Jr., what has he done against the Cardinals at Cinergy? Pretty big numbers, more home runs than anybody else here. Encarnacion will hit in the cleanup spot behind him. Then Casey, Boone, Walker. LaRue hits 8th. Joey Hamilton, the pitcher, bats in the 9th spot. That's your Chevrolet starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. And here's the young right-hander who's made the best of his golden opportunity this year.
No doubt about that, George. 4-0 since he has made his, or 4-0 the Cardinals are. Here's a scatter report on Jason Simontacchi. He works both sides of the plate, not overpowering at all. He's got a good solid slider and improving changeup, but ever since he has made his major league debut on May the 4th, the Cardinals have won all 4 of his starts. He is 3-0 by himself with a very nice 2.7 earned run average. Not the kind of guy that will wow you in the bullpen, but certainly the kind of guy that simply gets you to hit his pitch and make some easy outs.
Simontacchi ready to go to work. Native of Northern View, California, still lives in Santa Clara, and Barry Larkin steps in. Barry may not like the 227 under his name, but he sure did like his at bat with the bases loaded against the Braves. This one blew to right. Here comes Drew there, and he makes the catch. So Larkin's retired. There's 1 away. Let's check the 4 defensive alignment as we go around the horn with the St. Louis Cardinals. Nobody has made fewer errors at first in the last 5 years than that guy, Tino Martinez. Vina won the Gold Glove last year at second. Pujols moves from left to third tonight, and Renteria, a young veteran but very solid at short. That's your infield. In left, Miguel Cairo will man there. He's normally an infielder. How about Marrero? He's in for Edmonds in center. He's normally a catcher. And J.D. Drew's over in right. Behind the plate, Mike Matheny, always Gold Glove caliber. He ranks with Jason LaRue at throwing out runners. It will not be easy for the Reds to run tonight with Matheny behind the plate. That's your 4 defensive alignment. Here's Dunn at 307, 11 homers and 36 knocked in. Oh, when Corey Dillon showed up today to take batting practice, Dillon and Dunn, like they hooked up as 2 long-lost brothers. They talked football most of the afternoon, and Dunn said, boy, I'd sure like to throw a couple of swing passes to him down the sideline. That'd be a good combo, huh?
And Corey said, boy, I'd like to have you blocking me on the outside.
He said, you were a quarterback? No. 2 balls, 1 strike to Adam. He's hit safely 10 of his last 11 and hit over 470 during that period with 3 home runs. Turnabout is fair play. Hamilton gets a couple of big strikes in the top of the first with changeups. There's Jason's. It's a pretty good one. Number 46 is a pretty good story, drafted by the Royals back in '96 on the 21st round out of Albertsons College in Caldwell, Idaho. Dunn's hit by a pitch, and he'll march down to first. And he really didn't figure into the Cardinals' plans this year, but St. Louis has been decimated by injuries early in the year. Here's another look at Dunn being clipped again, right on the right thigh above the knee. Dunn hit for the 2nd time this year. He'll march down to first, and here comes Junior. Well, maybe the Cardinals are just what Junior needs to get healthy. When we went to St. Louis last month, that was the first date penciled in for Junior to come back. Remember when the Reds went on the road? They did not send him to St. Louis. He stayed here and worked out. So he finally does get to meet the Cardinals. First thing Tony La Russa asked our first day in was, did Junior come with you? And he didn't. Well, they'll overshift on him, but not as dramatic as they often do. Renteria behind the bag at second, but about 3 steps toward short. milestone year for Junior. He's almost assured to get 2,000 hits. He's only 4 away from that, and 39 away from 500 home runs. Yes, missing inside 1 and 2. Tino's got it, taps the bag, goes to second. Boy, he's good, isn't he? Inning-ending double play. Tino Martinez, even when he's not hitting, he gives you that kind of defense. He snuffs out a possible double and a possible rally for the Reds. Scoreless, we go to the second. Of 2, Albert Pujols, Tino Martinez, Edgar Renteria due up for St. Louis after Hamilton had a 1-2-3 first inning. Pujols, last year's Rookie of the Year, had monster numbers, hitting over 300. Over 30 homers and over 100 runs batted in. While his average down a bit this year, 277, 11 homers and 32. He's on a pace to have another 30-plus homer season, more than 100 runs knocked in. And that's while he splits time between the infield and the outfield. Breaking ball a little bit high, 2 balls, no strikes. Albert's been poison to the Reds in his 1 year plus. He has a career average of 365, 5 homers and 14 knocked in. Big time. There's a strike. In fact, 5 of the starters for the Cardinals tonight have career records over 300 against the Reds. And a 6th is Placido Polanco. To right field, hit pretty good. Encarnacion back, warning track, and he's got it.
Nice job by Juan Encarnacion. He was tucked around a little bit towards the right center field alley, figuring that Pujols would maybe pull that ball a little bit more. But boy, Pujols goes with it very deep to right field. But Encarnacion off with the crack of the bat. Boy, this guy's shown some pretty good glove work.
Bob Boone thinks he can be the best right fielder in the league if he played there every day. He's played a lot of center because of Griffey's injury, but Chris, he's shown us some moments where he's been spectacular in right. 1 away, and here's Tino. He's looking a lot better than the last time he was here. He was struggling when he was here in town. He met with Paul O'Neill, close friend and former Yankee teammate. That plus a whole lot of extra batting practice has got him going in the right direction. The average is on the rise. Bad news for the rest of the National League. He's now up to 230, 6 homers and 28 knocked in. He's one of those bubblegum card guys. By the time the year's over, the numbers on the back of the bubblegum card are usually pretty true.
Well, you know, you go over to a new league, a new team. They expect you to fill huge shoes because he came in place of Mark McGwire, and of course he probably pressed a little bit. He can take all the batting practice he wants to try to get his mechanics back, but probably the only thing he really needed to do right from the get-go is just relax and be himself. Being Tino Martinez the last 10 years has been pretty good.
Great product out of Tampa. Baseball factory. Down to Casey. He'll tap the bag quickly, 2 away. Well, Case snares that. Tino Martinez is retired. And here comes Edgar Renteria. Casey playing with a hamstring problem. He did pinch hit on Sunday. Glad he had the day off plus that. Not 100%, but and Chris, you get to this point of the year where it starts to get hot and humid like today, and it was steaming in Cincinnati today. You don't want to take any chances, so if he feels any kind of a twinge at all, they'll give him an extra day off here or there.
That's funny. You know, you get cold weather, you worry about pulling hamstrings and muscles. You get hot weather, you worry about pulling strings and hamstrings, or pulling muscles and hamstrings. Maybe we ought to play all the games in San Diego for those guys that have bad legs.
Ain't nothing wrong about that, huh? Hey, call Domino's Pizza now and enjoy a free order of cheesy bread when you purchase your favorite one-topping pizza for only $9.99. Call Domino's now where delivery is not extra. Speaking of pulling strings, there's one right there. No balls, 2 strikes. Joey mixing it up pretty good. First 2 innings. 5 up, 5 down. Edgar, another one of those 300-plus guys. 313 in his career. 5 homers, 32 knocked in against Cincinnati.
A little bit early to tell right now, but it seems as though Joey Hamilton has pretty good idea with all of his pitches. That is his sinking fastball, his slider, and his changeup. When you've got all 3 of them working on a night, look out.
Boone takes the last tricky hop across the infield. Renteria is retired. So are the Redbirds. 6 up, 6 down. to the bottom of 2. Boone's due up third. Encarnacion will lead it off. City Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by Domino's, where delivery is not extra. Get the door, it's Domino's. By McCluskey Chevrolet. Call the one number 761-1111. And by WCPO TV. 9 News is on your side. Well, remember Jeffrey Leonard, one flap down, the hand running around the bases after his home run. We got one leg down for Juan Encarnacion as he steps into the batter's box. Right pant leg down, left pant leg up. Those are hitting styles.
What's the story with that, George? You know the inside scoop on that?
The Taylor's fault. Here's Encarnacion, Casey, and Aaron Boone. Bounce it down to short. Renteria gets Encarnacion by a step. 1 away. So Juan's retired, and here's Sean Casey. Cardinals and the Reds thus far in 2002. These two teams will play 19 times. They've played 7. 12 more are still to come. Cardinals have won 5 of the 7 games. And really, as we talked about at the outset, Chris, that come from behind victory by the Cardinals when the Reds led it 8-0 on the Sunday getaway day, May the 12th. Cardinals came back to win it 10-8. That not only got them rolling against the Reds, but got them rolling, period. And since then, they've been the hottest team in the league.
Well, it happened so that the timing of that particular comeback also marked the time when they began to get healthy. They began to get their pitchers back from the disabled list. They started throwing the ball well, and anytime you've got a full-strength St. Louis Cardinal team, this is the team that has been predicted to win the division, so you got to figure they're going to be very good.
Good news is for the Cardinals, they've had a wicked streak the last 3.5 weeks. Tony La Russa and company moved to within, at one point, a half game of the Reds, now 2 games back. The good news for the Reds is the Reds really haven't had a red-hot streak yet, and you hope to get one. So they've withstood at least one charge by the Cardinals.
You know, the real good news for the Reds is that they have not gone into a prolonged losing streak. They take a loss, and there were 2 losses in a row, and then they're able to come back on that last game and to keep from getting swept in a series and really letting the momentum build the wrong way.
2-1. Drilled right field towards the corner. Casey will round first. He'll try for 2 as it kicks around. Casey was going to settle for 1. He didn't want to test the hamstring, but when it kicked back past Drew, Sean took the extra base, and the Reds have a runner in scoring position. For Sean Casey, that's his 11th double of the year.
Well, he gets a bat head going pretty nicely on this particular pitch. That ball down in the zone, a good wheelhouse for most left-handers, and that ball is rifled down the line. You can see where J.D. Drew is pulled over. They like to play him away, and had that ball not gotten away from Drew that far, Casey probably would have hugged first base.
The padding down the right field line goes to about 6 inches above the ground. Below that padding, it's steel and cement, so it'll either hit steel or cement. That's where it hit and kicked away. Drew expected it to hit the padding. So Casey's in scoring position, 1 away, and here's Aaron Boone on the corner for a strike. Aaron at 212, 6 homers, 25 knocked in. He came alive Sunday also, 2 for 4 against Atlanta. That snapped another prolonged skid for him. While the Reds haven't had a prolonged team skid, Aaron Boone's been battling it all year. He's had 4 different hitless streaks of at least 12 at-bats, and he's caught fire for 2 or 3 games after that. So the Reds are hopeful that he'll catch fire again, and very hopeful that one of these times he'll catch fire and stay hot. Short lead for Casey off second. It's not a strike, says Aaron Boone. Well, everybody's a little unhappy tonight. It's hot, humid, it's summer. What do you expect, right?
Well, you think the 2 players that are complaining, Fernando Vina and Boone, are unhappy. What about the home plate umpire? Doug Eddings has to be doubly unhappy. Both sides are getting him.
He's got the gear on tonight, too. 1 and 2. As the summer gets hotter, temperatures rise, and so do tempers. And we've had the last week or so, there have been a few very interesting confrontations between umpires and managers and players. 2-2. Breaking ball down and away.
Which leads me to the question, George Grant, do you have a prediction as to whether Lou Piniella was going to put on a show here on his return to Cincinnati?
Well, I think we're both hopeful. We got to send the ballpark out the right way. Lou's last appearance here has to be pretty good.
Maybe they won't need to blow it up. Maybe he could do it all by himself.
He could toss a base, probably to the new ballpark. Slap back and out of play.
The Cardinals in the beginning of a 9-game road trip. They play 3 here against the Reds, and then they go to Kansas City and then Seattle. So this is a big part of their schedule for Tony La Russa.
The Reds will play in interleague play here, Seattle and Oakland. On the road, Anaheim and the Texas Rangers. Here's the 3-2. Broken bat down to third. Casey will have to hold. Pujols tosses out Aaron Boone, and there's 2 away. Hey, St. Louis Cardinals are in town for another high-energy series with the Reds. Don't miss the excitement on Thursday. Reds and the Redbirds square off at 12:35 for Good Samaritan Hospital Senior Citizen Day. This means that all Reds fans 60 and older may purchase half-price tickets in advance of game day. Catch some great baseball at Cinergy on Thursday for Good Samaritan Hospital Senior Citizen Day. The difference in the schedule, while the Reds will play the 4 teams in the West, the Cardinals do have still what is identified as a natural home rival, Kansas City. The Reds don't play the Indians this year, one of the series that the fans have grown to become accustomed to and have responded to in great throngs, both in Cleveland and here. So the Cardinals will play 3 games in Kansas City and then 3 games of their own in St. Louis. So in terms of the schedule, the Cardinals get a break, playing a Royals team that's struggling, while the Reds have to play all 4 teams in the West. Here's the 1-0.
And Reds fans always used to enjoy those series against the Cleveland Indians. Of all years not to play the Indians, this would be a good one to have them on the schedule.
Makes no sense to me. The one benefit I think the interleague play is when you have a natural rival, and the Reds are one of the few teams that do. You know, the Yankees and the Mets, they're great. The Cubs and the White Sox, that's great. But the Reds and the Indians, that's a great natural rivalry. If you're going to have interleague play, that should be included every year.
It's funny how some teams were able to preserve those rivalries and other teams were not. The Reds were not. St. Louis plays KC. That's an in-state rival, of course. And Texas also will still have Houston Astros on their schedule. So,
and ironically, the Cardinals really don't want that rivalry. I mean, from a Cardinals standpoint, they're not enamored with playing the Kansas City Royals.
Well, they can play another series against Seattle, and the Reds will be glad to play KC.
2 balls, 1 strike to Todd Walker. Walker at 276, 3 homers, 19 knocked in. A little tardy on the fastball from the right-hander. Walker's hit safely in 20 of his last 25. At one point, he was at the 200 level, but the month of May was kind to him after a subpar April. He's lengthened that stance, shortened his stride, and just concentrated on making contact. And it's paid off for him. They set up away. Yes, missing. You never know when your chance is going to come, and for that guy who's played independent league baseball and minor college baseball, his chance came this year due to the misfortune of some other pitchers in the Cardinal rotation. He's made the most of it.
Well, he does a couple of things very right. Jason Simontacchi does. He's a guy that has got a very solid delivery and looks like he's not afraid, even though this is his first month in the major league, he's not afraid to pitch inside. Comes right in there for strikes. He broke the bat of Aaron Boone like it was no problem, and he's come inside a couple of times on Walker. Anytime you can establish yourself by hitting both sides of the plate, makes your fastball, even though it's only 91, look a lot quicker.
3-2, 2 outs. Ball 4. A hit batter A base on ball and a double. Those are the 3 base runners the Reds have had. In this inning, Casey's double, Walker's walk, and put 2 on, and here's LaRue. Jason struggled on the road trip trying to get his offense back together again. 1 hit last 17 at bats, and that included an 0 for 10 skin, and also included a 7 strikeout and 8 at bat scheme. Took a little extra batting practice, and hopefully you use the word relax, Chris. That's something that's embedded in his mind right now. Hit pretty good right center field towards the alley. Will anybody get there? Marrero does. Well, usually it's Jim Edmonds that snuffs out Reds rallies. Edmonds substitute. Marrero tracks that down, robs LaRue of extra bases. We're still scoreless.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds and Fox Sports Net.
Time for our Geico Direct moment. It comes from tonight's starting pitcher for the Reds, Joey Hamilton. It's not just another series. I want to set the tone, and this is what he looked forward to. One of the reasons why the Reds liked him so much when he came into this clubhouse last year. Kind of reminds you of Pete Harnisch. Gutty, gritty, and even when he isn't 100%, he'll give you his best. And with Harnisch gone, the Reds needed a personality like that, Chris, and a right arm like that,
Boy,
too.
you got to love that attitude by Joey Hamilton. Coming in there and wanting to be the guy that kind of strapped the rest of the team on his back and say, all right, I'm going to show you right now why we can compete with the Cardinals.
Here's Eli. Marrero's been trouble to the Reds, not just this year, but throughout his career. This year he's bounced around. At one time, he was the starter to be for the Cardinals behind the plate. Now he's played the infield, played the outfield. Today he starts at center with Edmonds on the sidelines. He and Tino Martinez each have hit safely in all 7 of the games played against the Reds this year, and it seemed like every time the Cardinals had a rally, either Marrero or Tino was a part of it, either for Marrero off the bench or as a starter. 3 balls, 1 strike. That misses wide, ball 4. Reds baseball brought to you tonight by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers.
What a tremendous athlete Eli Marrero must be. You got to go back to the days of Dale Murphy in Atlanta before you find a guy that can catch and play center field, play all around the infield like he can. You know, the Cardinals have such a versatile roster overall. Placido Polanco can play just about anywhere. You've got Albert Pujols that Tony La Russa can put just about in any position at all. And when you have that kind of versatility, you lose to Jim Edmonds, you lose a huge cog, but you've got somebody right there to fill in.
Don't forget him out on bases, too, because he's stolen 7 times, and there he goes. It's bounced to short. Larkin will have to go to first. They get the out as Matheny bounces out. Sending the runner avoids a possible double play, or at least the force of the runner at second. They will run with Matheny a lot, with Matheny at the plate and Marrero on the bases.
He had a big lead down there, too. I don't even think Joey Hamilton thought it was a possibility that he would be going.
So 1 out, runner at second. 2 for 10. Jason to the plate. Would they sacrifice with him to get the runner to third? And Vigna coming up. He's got 2 hits on the year. Swinging away and fouling it off. Steps out, takes a look at Jose Aquindo. Aquindo, the outstanding infielder for the Cardinals in his playing days, now the third base coach. Dave McKay's over at first. No balls, 1 strike. With the exception of Marrero, who's now out at second, Joey's been pitching strikes at most of these Redbird hitters. He was behind 3-1 and then walked them. Here's the 0-2. Talk to Eli, and he feels only this year has he come back 100% from his thyroid gland operation. He had cancer of the thyroid, operated and bounced back from it, but it really took him the better part of 2 years to regulate his medication, and it wasn't until last year that he started to feel better, and this year he's finally got back into what he considers his best baseball shape. 2 away on the strikeout. That's strikeout number 3 for Hamilton, and here's Vigna. And Chris, we live in a day and age with the constraints, the payroll constraints on clubs. And versatility is so important. So if you can get a guy like Pujols or Marrero to have on not just your 25-man roster, but to be a viable part, your top 7 or 8 players. This is into the left. Here comes Dunn. They're going to send Marrero. Dunn's throw to the plate won't be in time, and the run scores. Good base running by Eli Marrero with 2 away. He's on the run at the crack of the bat, and he scores ahead of Dunn's throw.
Well, watch Adam Dunn as he picks this ball up. It's a slow roller. His chances of throwing out Marrero are very slim, and there you see he throws it on the run, a perfect strike. But guess what? Fernando Vigna goes all around the second base. So here now the Cardinals have a chance to extend a 1-run rally into a 2-run rally because they've got another guy at second base. This early in the ball game, you've got to make sure that the base runner doesn't go to second, concede the run, and make sure you keep the force play in order.
Well, here's Cairo, 1-0 St. Louis. Vigna, good speed down at second. Vigna's stolen 10 bases on his own. Good base running by Marrero. Good break. Cut the corner sharp at third. Didn't bend it wide, and scores ahead of the throw by Dunn. Cairo popped out his first time up.
Well, George, how many times have you seen a guy thrown out on a ground ball base hit with 2 outs? I mean, unless it's a real slow runner running around the bases, and Marrero's fast enough to play center field. So
all part of knowing the runner, all part of knowing
it is
the situation. As soon as that ball got past Boone, you knew the chances were slim that he'd be able to throw him out. And remember here too, this grass much thicker than it was a year ago. If you haven't been down to Cinergy Field, the grass has really come in strong. It's a shame the Reds are moving out because the grass just now is starting to get to the potential that it had last year. And balls are cut down both in the infield and the outfield.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You'll be up here with your truck as soon as the season's over. You'll be in your backyard. I know.
I'll give you a square shovel if you'll load up the truck for me.
Jesse, you got room in your trunk? You got room for anything in your trunk, don't you? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hamilton trying to stop the bleeding right here with Vigna off second. He got him, tied him up, but the damage done. A leadoff walk. It comes back to haunt the Reds. They get Marrero to second. He scores on the base hit by Vigna. 1-0 St. Louis. Great to have you back in Cincinnati. George Graham with Chris Welch. Great to have you with us. Reds baseball. Cardinals lead at 1-0. Joey Hamilton will lead it off. Bottom of the third. Hamilton will be followed by Larkin and Dunn. Joey on the year 3 for 16. No homers and a run knocked in. Nub foul down the first base line. While some might not like the heat and humidity of tonight, these 2 guys do. The 2 pitchers both remarked before the game, this is exactly the way we like it. Hamilton especially, Chris, after coming back from his shoulder surgery, the warmer it is, the muggier it is, the better he feels these days. At the plate too, huh? Base hit for Joey, second hit for the Reds, leadoff hitter on. Summertime means Reds baseball and grilling out with Dad, so take your dad to the Reds game on Father's Day. Get him a free grill set from Conn's. This great gift, free to the first 10,000 men 16 and over at the Reds Buccos game Sunday, June 16th. This sturdy metal grill set includes tongs, a brush, and spatula, all with Reds logos burned onto the wooden handles. Thanks to Conn's, you can treat Dad to the best Father's Day ever. Reds baseball and a Reds grill set also. Larkin shows bunt. Tino has it. He'll go to second, and they'll get the lead runner. Another fine play by Tino Martinez. That looked like it had base hit written all over it. But Tino, at first holding his ground, planning to guard against anything up the line, flashes towards the middle. Chris, he makes a great play.
Now his only play right there is second base. Nobody covering first. The old Dookie drag by Barry Larkin gets it by the pitcher. That's what you want to do. But hey, can't forget about Tino Martinez off that area at first base as quick as a cat. Nice play.
Great decision by Martinez and great execution too. Reds probably end up better off because now they got Larkin on the bases and Hamilton will go sit and mop himself up. Here's Dunn, hit by a pitch his first time up. See how the Reds will handle this now. You know about Matheny. He and LaRue both tough. Matheny's thrown out 37% of the runners who've tried to steal. Simontacchi has a pretty good compact move to the plate. So Larkin will have to get a good break if he is stealing. Might they hit and run and not steal? One ball, one strike. On the scoreboard, Florida leads Philadelphia 1-0 in the third. Pittsburgh 4, Montreal 0 in the fourth. At Atlanta, Mets and the Braves. A rain delay. Ready to start there. Larkin has stolen 4 bases, been caught twice. Ahead in the count now. Dunn takes a look at Tim Foley down in the third base coach's box, who flashes some signs. Over at first, Jose Cardinal checks in with Larkin. Larkin not going, and you can really see how tight the move to the plate is by Simontacchi. Very cognizant of the running game. The Reds going into tonight, 42 stolen bases, caught 20 times. They trail Florida. The Marlins lead the league with 71 stolen bases. Larkin not going. Broken bat right to Tino. He'll have another double play. So Tino ended the first with a double play, and on that broken bat soft liner, he ends the third on a twin killing. Heading to the fourth in Cincinnati, J.D. Drew will lead it off for the Redbirds. Crowd in the mid-20s here gives us a chance to check our Aflac trivia question. Who was the first pitcher to throw a no-hitter at Riverfront Stadium? First pitcher to throw a no-hitter at Riverfront, now Cinergy Field. We'll have that answer coming up as we say goodbye to Riverfront Cinergy Field and hello to Great American Ballpark as they continue to work away at the park that continues to unfold before our eyes. Tony Perez came to town today. We saw Tony last week in Florida, where he still is employed by the Marlins. He flew to St. Louis, spent some time with his son Eduardo, who's on this Cardinals team, and then came here, he and Patuca, to spend a couple of days in Cincinnati. Tony, of course, will be here on the final weekend of the season against the Phillies as they close down the old ballpark. And he came out of the clubhouse, took one look up at the new structure and says, wow, that looks pretty good. A lot of memories for Tony as he walked through that door and took a look out on this field, and you can imagine the emotion that'll be touching him the last week of September when the Reds wrap up against Philadelphia. And you don't even have to be a player, Chris, if you're just a fan, if you grew up here just to come to the park and remember moments that you had maybe as a youngster with your dad. You came here with your dad very often, bringing your kids here, and the generations pass. First it was Crosley Field, now it's Riverfront Cinergy. A lot of memories, a lot of emotion for families, kids, dads, and the like.
Back in the 70s, during the days of the Big Red Machine, this place just seemed to be electric. Walking over the pedestrian walkways, you know, you just kind of felt that energy as you walked into the stadium, and you saw the green carpet everywhere. Of course, back in those days, that was such a novelty to see AstroTurf. You just wanted to get down there and touch it.
3-2 to Drew, slap foul.
I remember one night in particular, the night of the All-Star game, George. It was here. I was right in that row in Morgana. Ran right down that row, jumped the fence, and went and gave Johnny Bench a big kiss.
Morgana, what a great baseball fan she was. She, of course, lived up in Columbus, still lives up in Columbus.
Left a lasting impression on me.
Yeah, and you and a lot of other people, too. Not just lipstick either. Big. I mean, she was truly a baseball fan. You know, at minor league ballparks, and at one time even owned part of a club. 3-2 to JD, who struck out his first time up. A leadoff walk last inning. The leadoff walk came back to bite Joey Hamilton. Marrero eventually scored on the base hit by Vigna.
Well, Joey Hamilton's got 25 base on balls overall coming into the ball game, 27 now, and just over 50 innings pitched. Too much, but if you break it down, you find out that in the last month, Joey Hamilton's control has been much better. Only 4 base on balls in the last 20 innings pitched. That's one of the reasons why he has come around so much here in the month of May, and now he's into June. Did not walk anybody in his last start. 2 already tonight.
Drew has stolen 8, been caught only once. Pujols lines to Larkin. He's got it. No play, though. A bullet by Albert Pujols, and Larkin already a step over towards the bag. Just about got there. In the tip of the webbing of his glove, he snares it.
Well, you can't hit him a whole lot harder than this. Pujols really rockets this ball. You ever heard of the heavy line drive? It looked like Barry Larkin tried to catch a cannonball right there. The way that ball almost took him into short left field. Those little infielder's gloves are not meant for that type of line drive.
Larkin hoping double play, but Drew got back. And here's Tino. Bounced to Casey his first time up.
Tino's got some words for Doug Eddings. It seems like everybody's got a little bone to pick tonight on both sides.
First game of a series, you want to get things rolling, but look out, because the crew chief John Shulock's out at second, and he'll be behind home plate for the final game of the series, and he's one of the tougher umpires in the league. 1 ball, 1 strike. There you see the difference in Tino's swing. Earlier in the year, he had more of an uppercut, and one of the great tributes to Tino as a hitter was how long he would keep his bat in the hitting zone. Not uppercut, not slash at it, but keep the bat through the hitting zone. And that's produced RBI season after RBI season and 7 trips to the postseason. Rip but foul off the facade down the right field line. 1-2.
You know, when you break it down technically, you say a guy keeps his bat in the hitting zone longer than another guy, and technically speaking, it's not exactly true, because it's measured in milliseconds the amount of time that a bat is actually in the zone where he's going to make good contact with the ball. But he seems to get his bat in the position to make contact more often than other hitters do.
We talk about have a level swing. A level swing gives you a longer chance to make contact. LaRue down to first, but Drew is back. These are 2 teams that have rapidly developed a lot of respect for each other, both individually and collectively as teams. So you figure this should be a pretty good battle from here on out if the Reds pitching can keep pace with the Cardinals pitching. It starts with the managers. Bob Boone, Tony La Russa, each have a great deal of respect for each other's abilities, and they're both very competitive and want to beat the other. 2-2.
Nice quick move over to first base by Joey Hamilton that time. Very close at first base. The last couple of moves that Hamilton prior to the last one he made was the step-off move. So he was trying to keep Drew from seeing his good one, figuring on 3-2. Drew's off to the races on this one.
Half-step bigger lead for JD. Looks like he'll be running. There he goes. A bouncer foul down to first. We'll do it again, 3-2.
You know, this is why pitchers, especially guys like Joey Hamilton and Jason Simontacchi and Rijo and guys who are not high strikeout pitchers really would like the hitter to hit a ball early in the count. You don't want to go 3-2. You don't want to show the pitcher 5, 6, 7 pitches, or the hitter that many pitches in one at bat, where he can begin to gauge your speed and your release point, read your pitches, and let a runner get in motion when you run the count full.
Drew going again. Rip. This will be a fair ball. It'll be one hop off the wall. Drew round second, goes to third. With one out, they'll hold him there, and Tino will hold at first. Drew was thinking scoring, but Oquendo not taking any chances. Whips out the red flag, and it's first and third with one out.
Well, Martinez finally knows he's going to get a good pitch because it's a 3-2 count. Nowhere to put him, and with the runner on the move. This pitch was very dangerous. This ball hit all the way down in the corner. You see that Encarnacion fields it with one hand and gets it right back into the infield. When Larkin gets this ball, if Drew had decided to go to third, there was a shot that he'd have Drew at the plate. So Oquendo wanted to play no chances right there, but the Reds are still just a ground ball from getting out of the inning with a double play.
And here's Renteria. Bounced to third his first time up. Larkin, Walker, double play depth. The one thing that's a dent in the armor of Edgar, he's hit into 12 ground ball double plays this year. He's usually one of the league leaders, and this year's no different. And that's what Hamilton wants to do, coax that sinker into a ground ball. Broken bat, blew to right. That's going to reach grass, and a run will score. Good pitch by Hamilton, got in on him, but shatters the bat. Renteria gets a run batted in, and it's now 2-0 St. Louis.
Well, if Joey Hamilton is looking for a ground ball, you're not going to get it by throwing up around the letters. Yeah, you pop the guy's bat in half, but overall, that ball is going to go into the outfield. Look where that pitch is, up above the letters. Doubtful that it was where he wanted it. LaRue's looking for it down. That pitch is up. And lucky though it may be, an RBI base hit.
So first and second now, still only one out. And here's Marrero. He walked in the third and scored the Cardinals' first run. Pittsburgh jumped off to a 4-0 lead on Montreal. They're now in the fourth. Hermanson and McCoviac each have homered. Florida leading Philadelphia 2-0 in the third. Still raining at Atlanta. Everything else later on. Hot back, that'll be out of play. Reds and the Cardinals square off here. First and second place teams. And the same story in Atlanta, the Mets and the Braves. Eli trying to deliver once again. Past Boone. Tino will hold at third. Dunn gets it in quickly, and the bases will be loaded. So Hamilton, after looking brilliant through the first three, a walk, a single, and another single, and the bases are loaded, a run's in.
Yeah, 3 hits and a walk, and you've only given up 1 run. So Joey Hamilton's got to look at the scoreboard saying, you know what, I ought to be feeling pretty good about myself right now. Marrero's ball is well struck, but if it's a couple of feet down towards third base, it's a double play ball. And he looks up, and fortunately for him, he's down to the bottom of the order, number 8 and number 9. So this is where Hamilton's got to do his business, unless he's going to allow the Cardinals to put a big number on the board.
So here's Matheny. He bounced to short his first time up. Matheny 0 for 4 in his career against Hamilton. Line to center. Here comes Griffey. Got it. Here comes the throw to the plate all the way home. It will not be in time, and a run will score.
Another bad move by the Reds defensively. On a medium deep fly ball, your chances of throwing a runner out at home plate are almost slim to none, even if you've got the throwing arm of Ken Griffey Jr. But what the Cardinals do, a very heads-up base running team, both runners advance on this. So Martinez scores. I don't know whether he may have even left a little bit early. May want to take a look at that. But he scores ahead of the throw, and Renteria goes to third. And a runner Marrero goes over to second, so now a base hit will score 2 more. Can't let that happen.
Problem there is the trajectory of that throw. You saw where it was, unable to be cut anywhere. They'll appeal down to third. No, says the third base umpire, Mike Everett.
I thought in real action when we were looking at the play from up here, George, that I thought he may have left a little bit early. The umpires are right on it, but Bob Boone feels the same way, and a lot of the umpires sitting in the audience out here at Cinergy Field feel the same way. Let's take another look at it. Hard to say right there because Aaron Boone is right in the way.
So Everett's made his call. The run will score. It's now 3-0 St. Louis. Runners at second and third with 2 outs now. And Hamilton will try to get the pitcher and get out of it. 7th batter in the inning to the plate for St. Louis. Bouncer to short. Larkin charges. Got him, but 2 left on, but the important run score. 2 score, and it's 3-0 St. Louis. We're heading to the bottom of 4. Griffey, Encarnacion, and Casey due up. Sabo is back at Cinergy for Pepsi Bobblehead Night, Friday, June 14th. First 10,000 fans in the gates for the Reds-Pirates game get a free Chris Sabo bobblehead doll. This unique recreation of the Reds' spirited third baseman even depicts his Spuds goggles, made famous during his rookie year of '88. This commemorative Sabo bobblehead only available at the ballpark Friday, June 14th. Thanks to everybody at Pepsi. Stop by, join us, and pick up one of those. His head always did bobble anyway. You know, you talk about Cincinnati baseball, Chris, and you know, we got a taste of it this past week. We were in Florida. Eric Owens and against Chicago, Chris Steins. You look at those kinds of players, they've always been beloved by fans in Cincinnati. The spark plug little guys who come on, play gritty baseball, stick their face right in it. Sabo, Eric Owens when he came on the scene, and Chris Steins when he came on the scene.
Kind of blue-collar players that just make it by hustle and heart, and you know, they're trumpeted as not having as many tools or talents as some of the other players, but they're the guys that kind of make you believe in yourself by watching them play.
Pip Roberts was kind of a player that went in his short career with the Reds. Fans really drew to love him too, the way he played.
I guess all the local optometrists loved when Chris Sabo came. They sold all those sports glasses, you know, to every little kid that needed optical help on the ball diamond. They said, give me some Spuds McKenzie glasses, will you?
Here's Junior to lead it off as we go to the bottom of 4. Bounced into a double play his first time up. Encarnacion and Casey will follow. The numbers on Junior: 4 hits shy of 2,000 for his career. The Cardinals will play him almost straight away. Vigna deep at second. Renteria near the second base bag, but not anywhere near the over-exaggerated shift that they employ at times. After bouncing out last time up, Junior's average has gone under the 200 mark to 196. High in the air to left, didn't get all of it though. Cairo has it. There's one away here in the 4th. Time for Aflac trivia answer for tonight. Who was the first pitcher to throw a no-hitter at Riverfront Stadium? Well, for the Reds, when you add it up, it was not a night that we ended up with a smiling side of the scoreboard. It was June 3rd of '71. Ken Holtzman of the Cubs pitched the no-no June 3rd of 1971. Which no-hitters do you remember the most? And many Reds fans here at Cinergy Riverfront would probably point to Tom Seaver's no-hitter. Never had one as a Met. In fact, the Mets still haven't had a no-hitter. Tom Terrific still lists that as one of the great moments of his career. Ball 1 to Encarnacion. Down the left field line, that'll be foul. Added up What kind of an impact has Juan Encarnacion had on the Reds this year? It's been big, especially with Griffey's injury. He leads the team in hits, total bases, tied with Adam Dunn for the lead in homers with 11. And he's played a good outfield too. Especially with Griffey on the sidelines, he's been instrumental in keeping the Reds where they are.
He's been solid because he's been healthy, and he's not going to be a 300 hitter, but he is going to provide good defense in the absence of Ken Griffey Jr., and he's a guy that the league is really still trying to figure out. And George, you said it from the early on, is that the more you see that guy smile, the chances are the better he will play. You had a tendency in Detroit to kind of pine away a little bit. Of course, maybe discouraged by the big ballpark, maybe discouraged by the fact that Tigers have been so miserable the last few years. But boy, he's really found a home here in Cincinnati and done a fine job.
2-2 center field. Marrero playing way deep. In and has it. 2 away.
You're used to seeing Andrew Jones out there the last series.
Andrew's probably about 55 to 60 feet closer to second base than Marrero was. Well, it's kind of like playing defensive halfback. Play deeper, your chances of something get behind you a lot less. And Eli just trying to, and before the game today, in fact, Dave McKay was out there with him, and Jim Edmonds was there with him too, talking about how to play this wall, how to play the carom. There's Edmonds on the sidelines again tonight. He jammed his right wrist in a slide at home plate. Said before the game tonight, still not 100%. He hopes to play by the 3rd game of the series, though. He hasn't burned the Reds offensively, but boy, he's come up with some great plays defensively this year. Gold Glover 4 times running, twice with the Cardinals and twice in the American League in Anaheim. Two out, nobody on for Sean. He doubled to right in the second, but was left stranded. Well, best broken bat of the season has to go to Casey after his strikeout on Sunday. Came in as a pinch hitter with the bases loaded. Damian Moss punched him out on a fastball up, slammed the bat on the ground, and just snapped it right in half. A walk. Reds get a base runner, and Aaron Boone will come to the plate. And don't forget, coming up tonight, it's the Best Sports Show period, and this evening heavyweight champ Lennox Lewis checks in to talk about his good buddy Mike Tyson. Plus, the major's only 11-game winner Curt Schilling stops in to tell everybody how he keeps getting better and better and better, and find out the latest on Rick Ankiel's pitching adventures. The Best Sports Show period tonight right here on Fox Sports Net after Reds baseball. Rick Ankiel has begun his rehab for the Cardinals. He'll start in Class A and move his way up. Line drive. Renteria has it. Right on the button by Boone, but Renteria snares it. But that kind of a night so far for the Reds and the Redbirds. Redbirds have the best of it, 3-0. Welcome back to Cinergy Field. George Grant with Chris Welch. We visit with Casey McKeon, the amateur scouting director of the Cincinnati Reds. And if you joined us late, news for the Reds today. This was draft day, and Casey's been the man on the griddle the last couple of weeks as everybody's been huddling around here. Case, you got your #1 pick. Important, but you also got him signed.
Oh, most definitely. It was an outstanding day for us. We got the kid we wanted, and Chris Grueller, outstanding individual. Power stuff. Right-hander with above-average fastball, curveball, and changeup, and makeup's off the chart, George.
Fernando Vina gets plunked by a pitch, the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 5th inning. What impressed you most about him? His stuff, his makeup?
Really, the combination. I mean, we sit here day in, day out and watch these big leaguers come in. Those with the makeup, the desire, are the ones that always seem to excel above those with equal ability. And this kid, he has it all. And that excites us, the combination, the package.
You know what impressed me immediately about that? I read the press release, and I saw Johnny Bench quoted in the press release saying that this kid has a better changeup and a better breaking ball than Tom Seaver. That's pretty lofty praise from a Hall of Famer.
It is. When you hear something, you hear Johnny say something like that. Hey, I'm not old enough to know what Seaver threw like, but I'll tell you what, that's impressive. Makes you feel good.
Sure does.
I guarantee you, JB's going to get a call from Seaver when he sees that.
I wonder how many changeups and curveballs he actually got from Seaver.
You got a fastball like that, you don't need it. Signing him is equally important, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, last year we took a gamble with Jeremy Sowers,
yep.
and it unfortunately didn't pay off. We've done it in the past and it has paid off. This year, I think we wanted to set the impression, to tell our fans and the people that support the Reds that, we have every intention to sign them, and we went out and we did it.
Cairo sends one to the right side. They'll have to take the out at first. They do, and Vigna goes to second. There's one away.
Casey, realistic expectations. You get a #1 draft pick out of high school like Chris Ruler. If everything goes right, if he stays healthy, when can fans expect to see him in the major leagues? How long does it usually take?
That's a tough question, Chris, because me personally, I don't like to put on expectations, but on young men. This kid will dictate his own future. I mean, if he stays the course, you're hoping 4 years. You're hoping the Brett Myers track where you don't have to rush him and we don't have to put him up in the big leagues. He'll determine it. He may surprise us all and be here soon, but let's hope not. Let's hope he takes his regular turn and develops the proper way.
That was the footage when he worked out here last week, and I think everybody was impressed with him physically, but I think some of the guys, Bob Boone for one, was even more impressed because Boone caught him, which is important. I mean, this guy was a major league catcher, all-star, Gold Glover, and your manager. He said what he liked even more about him was the bulldogged nature of the way he approached his appearance here.
It was great. He turned his back, picked up the ball, the rosin bag, looked back in there, and the next thing you know, Boone's catching him. Barry had jumped out, Boone's in there catching him, and you had to take a look, and it was great for the kid. Bob's outstanding.
That's a base hit into right. Here comes Vigna around third. He's going to score, and the runner Drew will go to second. The throw up the line just a hair. Vigna's nailed, and Drew will advance to second. So the Cardinals get another run out of it. They lead it 4-0 on the base hit by Drew, and they get a runner in scoring position.
Well, Joey Hamilton, for a guy that looked like he took very good stuff to the mound tonight, just not getting any breaks. That ball just is a ground ball that finds its way in there. Encarnacion, we talked about his good arm earlier, almost nabs the runner, but because that throw goes all the way to the plate, guess what? No double play in order because good base running by J.D. Drew finds him at second base.
They're starting to stretch in the bullpen for Cincinnati now as it's 4-0 here in the 5th inning. We continue to visit with Casey McKeon, the amateur scouting director of the Reds. Case, you get your #1 pick, and it's pretty evident from the way you picked in your top 5. Pitching was high on your list.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, it's always important. It's important to get arms. Every year you look at it, and we're doing a great job of developing these arms now. We've drafted them over the last 3 or 4 years since I've been here, and we want to continue to do that. We've really shied away from some bats, so this year we also made it a point to go out and get some offensive weapons to you see the kids we've been bringing up, the Dunns, the Kearns, and we wanted to do it again. We wanted to put a little influx of hitters in the system as well.
Case, there was some thought in the Reds organization as to whether you would go to a college player or a high school player in the first round. As it turned out, you picked a high school player, but then you go out the next 9 or 10 rounds, you only picked one high school player. It seems like I got to go way down the list before you find another one. You picked a high school player in the 3rd round, and then from there on, or in the fourth round, Camilo Vasquez, a left-hander from Hialeah High School in Florida. But from there on, you most always have gone almost all college players until you get down in round number 17. What's the thought process behind that?
Well, too, I think, with our system, we actually went out and we got Joey Votto, a catcher, left-handed hitting catcher from Toronto, and we picked up Camilo Vasquez, a left-handed pitcher out of Florida, the Miami area. Those were 2 important signs for us, or hopefully soon-to-be signs, I should say, for us. And then from there, we brought in Kevin Howard, a left-handed hitting third baseman from Miami, University of Miami, pure hitter, kid that played on Team USA. We also went out and got Walter Olmsted, a kid from Texas Christian University. I'm sorry about that, but switch hitter with power. We look for the best bats. It really didn't determine whether they're high school or college.
Pujols, fly ball to left. Encarnacion back to the wall, and that's gone. Albert has hit his 6th home run off Cincinnati. 2 runs will score, and it's now 6-0. The lead belongs to the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, they've chipped away. 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and here in the 5th, they add 3 more and lead it 6-0. So it started out as a crystal clear night for Joey Hamilton, has gotten fogged out here in the heat and humidity of the 5th inning. 6-0 St. Louis.
Well, Albert Pujols has scolded the ball a couple of times tonight. He hit one right into the glove of Barry Larkin his last time up. Hit it hard the first time to right field. Nobody's going to catch this one, though, as he goes out the back door over the right field fence, over the right fielder Juan Encarnacion. That's good for a couple. Boy, that's a big number up there, 6.
Pujols is 12th of this year, 6th in his career against the Reds. That's only in 2 years, a year plus. And here comes Tino hitting 5th. We continue to visit with Casey McKeon, amateur scouting director of the Reds, after the selection today of Chris Brewer, the #1 pick, and the signing of Chris Brewer. After the experience of last year, when you drafted Jeremy Sauer, didn't sign him, were you intent on trying to get somebody? Was signability the key this year? I know you talked to Casimir, the youngster out of Houston, and a lot of people had him high. The word we had was that he wanted a major league contract, and that's something that the Reds are in a tough position to do right now.
Well, you know, quite frankly, we still took the best player that, you know, we felt available. Signability, and we kid ourselves by saying it doesn't have anything to do with it. But in this case, you know, we sat down, and it was a tight-knit, I mean, it was a close race. I mean, we were split camp, but we factored in everything, George, and you know, it came down to it. Chris Brewer was our guy. I mean, he was the one we felt in the long run was going to be that guy that could be a one starter in the big leagues.
Martinez flies out, and here's Renteria with 2 away in the top of the 5th.
What kind of money are first-round picks getting nowadays?
A lot more than I'll probably ever make in my lifetime, I can tell you that.
True, $2.5 million for Brewer.
Yeah, up in that range, and you know, obviously last year's numbers were inflated by baseball standards with the Mark Pryors and Teixeira's getting these big league contracts. So,
Case, congratulations. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us. Best of luck in signing these guys now.
Chris, George, I appreciate it.
Casey McKeon joining us. We'll be back after this. Back at Cinergy, Reds have a big hill to climb tonight. Todd Walker first pitch swinging to left. Miguel Cairo warning track. Got it. 1 away. Let's go to Jeff Piccoro for an update. Vic.
Thanks a lot, George. The Reds got a special visitor today in batting practice. He actually came out, stretched with the team, then got in the cage. It's Pro Bowl running back Corey Dillon of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Dillon played some baseball all the way through high school, had a pretty good stick. He actually hit one off the foul pole, so that was a home run. Hit another one off the wall. He said afterwards, hey, he was just out here trying to have some fun, and he said, I'm sure I can't do what these guys can do, but they sure can't do what I can do. Back to you, George.
LaRue sends this one to left. Cairo's got that. Couple of pitches, couple of outs. 2 away here in the 5th.
Corey Dillon up there kind of looked like Pokey Reese on steroids.
He had pretty quick bat.
Yes, he did.
And he said, in talking with him, he said he played mostly second base in high school and some center field. His hands, big hands, he tried to put on 2 or 3 gloves. The only glove he could get that would fit him is Adam Dunn's first baseman's mitt. So some big mitts, big mitts.
Less fumbles that way.
Hamilton's night is done. Wilton Guerrero will pinch hit for him, so Hamilton allows 6 runs on 6 hits in his 5 innings of work. Had a quick first and second inning, then ran into trouble in the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. 81 pitches for Joey Hamilton. He exits trailing 6-0. Here's Wilton. Guerrero, 60th at bat of the year, 14 hits, no homers, 3 knocked in. McCluskey Chevrolet still in GM overdrive. Take the rate of the rebate as low as 1.9% or up to $3,000 cash back. Only at McCluskey Chevrolet. Call the 1 number 761-1111. Two away. Guerrero at the plate. Pujols in tied at 3rd, knowing that Guerrero is one of the best bunters in the league. 2-1. a little high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Pujols has to impress you the way he's been swinging the bat, but what also impresses you, Chris, he reminds you a little bit of Dmitri Young. Last year and this year both. Dmitri played first, third outfield. Pujols has played first, third outfield. And there's a base hit from Wilton. And not at any time did Dmitri miss a beat. No matter where you put him, he kept hitting. It's the same thing with Albert.
You know, you're exactly right. And Tony La Russa last year said, you know, I'm very surprised. This is La Russa talking about how he's not overwhelmed by any position or any degree of responsibility, no matter where I put him. Put him at third base in a tight game, bat him third as a rookie, no problem at all against a tough pitcher. He's right there to respond. I love his power, especially to right field. This guy, when you can go out the back door as easily as Pujols can, that's a sign that you can go out any ballpark anywhere.
A runner on first with 2 away, and here's Barry Larkin. Larkin 0 for 2, a fly ball out and a bounce out.
Now the Reds have hit a couple of balls hard off of Simontacchi on the night. There's Matheny out to talk to him, but I'm not sure what this kid's throwing out there. I mean, he's had a lot of hitters with some early count easy outs. Nice harmless fly balls to center field, balls off the end of the bat. Not overpowering by any means. He's just a guy that misses the center of the bat more often than not.
Short lead Guerrero. That's a strike in the inside corner. It looked as if Jason might be on his way back to AAA when both Woody Williams and Garrett Stevenson came off the disabled list. Williams has been okay, but Stevenson back on the DL. Bud Smith called up. And he just keeps pitching and keeps getting people out.
Yeah, Bud Smith was lights out down in AAA when they sent him down there. That's the kind of performance the Reds are hoping to get out of Lance Davis down in AAA for Louisville, but he's not been able to put it together yet. Brian Bohannon's still a guy down there throwing. Seth Etherton promoted from AA to AAA today.
Dave Duncan, the pitching coach and the right-hand man of Tony La Russa, always sits about 3 feet from him. They almost think with the same mind. By the way, also regarding today, Jose Silva pitched for the Reds down in AAA. 3 innings, 4 hits, no runs. Silva more of a candidate for the bullpen to help the Reds. What the Reds would really like to have in this, as you point towards a possible pennant run, is another starter. So far, nobody's really jumped up.
Well, speaking of bullpens and starters, it'll look like Bob Boone will go to the bullpen to pull a starter in replace of Jose Rijo. Rijo pitched Saturday after he was banged around by the Braves. He will get overlooked in his next start, and Carlos Almanzar will get the start.
Right back to the pitcher and a quick flip to first. So the pitch hit by Guerrero goes for naught. Reds have been out hit 6-3. They've been outscored 6-0. Bob Boone scratching his head, biting his lip, looking for runs tonight.
Well, Scott Williamson in. He is picking up for Joey Hamilton. Not a good outing for Hamilton. 5 innings of 6-hit, 6-run baseball. No errors by the Reds, so those are all earnings on the docket of Joey Hamilton, a guy that hoped to set a better tone for the series than he did tonight. But the Reds have a few innings to go here, only the top of the 5th inning. 21 2/3 innings for Scott Williamson, 28 punch-outs. He pitched a scoreless 5th inning last Friday against the Atlanta Braves, but had to come out after he had a blister problem on the end of his middle finger. Hopefully that's going to be okay today.
Here's Eli Marrero, walked and scored and singled his last time up 1 for 1. Hamilton went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 6 runs, struck out 4, walked 2. Each of those walks scored. He gave up 1 home run, that to Albert Pujols. Pujols 12th of the year. 1 strike from Williamson. Again, reclaiming his power pitcher category. A bouncer in the hole. Larkin bounces up. Long throw. Got him. Marrero hustled down the line, but Larkin, fine play deep in the hole, nails the runner at first. Marrero's retired.
Now that is an outstanding play by Barry Larkin. That is way deep in the shortstop hole. He's got to stop, plant, and come up with a rocket, and he does all the way across the infield. Good stretch and pick at the other end by Sean Casey. That's good glove work.
2 fine plays by Larkin tonight. That gets the runner at first, and there's 1 away. Here comes Matheny. Bounced out and a sacrifice fly. On the scoreboard at Montreal, Pirates 4-0. Hermanson has hit his 5th home run. Makowiak 2, his 7th and 8th homers. At Philadelphia, Florida leads 4-0 in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-0 to Matheny.
Satisfy your appetite with JTM's famous quarter-pound beef patties, all beef burgers, and grilling ribs. And remember, for the best grill out on the block, turn to the brand you can count on, JTM.
Cubs in Milwaukee scoreless in the 3rd. Kerry Woods going for his 7th win there. Mets in Atlanta still sitting on a rain delay. Estes and Marquis, the scheduled pitchers there. LA at Colorado. San Francisco, San Diego, Houston, Arizona still to come. American League. Red Sox at Comerica Park, leading Detroit 9-3 in the top of the 6th inning. Johnny Damon, 3 hits already, 3 runs scored. Carlos Baerga, what a comeback year for him. 2 for 3 and 4 runs batted in. At Yankee Stadium, the Yankees trying to keep pace with the Red Sox, leading 4-3 over Baltimore. At Toronto, Carlos Tosca, the new manager there, after Buck Martinez was fired. Toronto leading Tampa Bay 2-1, bottom of 7. That's wide, ball 4. Matheny, a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up the pitcher. Kansas City at Chicago, rain delay there. Minnesota will host the Cleveland Indians tonight. Freeze against Reed, the scheduled pitchers. Texas at Anaheim, Seattle and Oakland still to come in the American League. Mark Wagner's scoreboard update. Scott Williamson's job, keep it right where it is. For probably a couple of innings. The pitcher spot 8 spots away is when we head to the bottom of the inning. You show bunt and chase Matheny back to first. Peering across the infield at Jose Aquindo, rolls through some signs. 1-0. You keep the bunt on.
You see how closely tucked Aaron Boone is at third base. He's coming right down, almost daring Simontacchi either to bunt or try to slug bunt, slap that ball by him. You get half the equation right when the defensive guy comes charging in like that. Now it's the responsibility of the pitcher to throw a strike. You want him to commit, get the bunt down early in the count before you show all your defenses.
Squares again, pops it up. Can anybody get there? Great effort by LaRue, but it drops on the warning track. 2 balls, 1 strike. Doing everything he can to buy it out for his pitcher.
Boy, he really gets out of the catcher's box quickly. I mean, he is cat-like the way LaRue goes after this ball. There aren't a whole lot of catchers that are going to even try to attempt to go after this ball. That ball just about 1.5 steps away from him making a brilliant catch.
2-1. Gets it down. Casey will take the out. A successful sacrifice. So the second sacrifice of the season for Jason. That pushes an insurance run out to second base for the Cardinals. Hey, don't forget, more Reds baseball coming your way. The Redbirds stay in town today and tomorrow, and we'll be back on the air tomorrow. Real Reds at 6:30. Game will follow at 7. Cardinals and the Reds, game 2 of the series. For tomorrow, Jimmy Haynes scheduled to go against Woody Williams. Haynes goes for his 6th. That's tomorrow. Join us right here on Fox Sports Net. And here comes Vina. Struck out, lined a single to left, and knocked in the first run for the Cardinals. Hit by a pitch and scored in the 5th. That's off the glove into right field, and that'll score a run. I don't know if Walker would have been able to throw him out if Williamson doesn't get the glove on it, but very definitely the run would not have scored. Here's another look.
Oh, instinctively for a pitcher, you reach a glove up there. You don't know if Walker's going to make that play or not. Probably would have, but hey, as a pitcher, you don't know that. So you try to grab the ball as it goes by, and boy, that's just the way the balls are bouncing for the Cardinals tonight.
Now the sacrifice pays off for St. Louis. Another run scores, and it's 7-0. Short lead for Vina. He's not going. Cairo pops it up. With 2 away, LaRue under it. He's got it. That'll do it. But the Cardinals do some more business. Third time tonight, a walk turns out to score against the Reds. 7-0 St. Louis. Cincinnati Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by your Greater Cincinnati Ford dealers. By JTM Food Group. Satisfy your appetite with a brand you can count on, JTM. By Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. By Corona Beer. Relax and enjoy an ice-cold Corona Extra. And by Hyundai. Test drive the cars with America's best warranty at your Cincinnati area Hyundai dealer. Long road back for the Reds right now. 7 runs, 7 hits for St. Louis. No runs, 3 hits for the Reds. Polanco comes in. He'll play third. The only change for the Cardinals to start the inning. Jason's been in control tonight, Chris, and he keeps putting a vote in for himself every time he goes to the mound.
I'll tell you what, the Cardinals have won every start that he has had. That's 4 of them, and he comes in with an earned run average of under 3, so he's done more than just full hitters. He's done a good job. Jim Bowden, hoping that the job his scouting department did today will pay off in the future.
Very happy if you joined us late. The Reds did sign their #1 pick, Chris Grueller. They drafted him 3rd overall in the country and signed him to a deal estimated to be about a $2.5 million bonus, guaranteed dollars, but from what we understand, it is not a major league contract, so he'll go to the minor leagues. That was one of the bones of contention with some of the top prospects this year. They wanted major league contracts, and the Reds really, after the signing of Espinosa and Sardinia 2 years ago, really have put themselves in a difficult position for roster spots on the 40-man roster.
And that's one reason why other ball clubs around baseball said, hey, you know, you haven't set the precedent, because there have been before that draftees that have been given major league contracts, but to give 2 guys who weren't top 2 players in the country major league contracts right to get them signed, that's a precedent that other ball clubs didn't really appreciate, but that was the only way the Reds are going to get those guys under contract.
Adam Dunn bounces out, 1 away here. And that'll bring up Ken Griffey Jr.
Of course, you know what happens now that all the draftees, they come in and they eventually sign, the majority of them obviously, and the scouting department kind of washes its hands and says, turns them over to Tim Naring and the player development department, said, all right, we think these guys are all bona fide major league prospects. It's up to you now to fine-tune them so that we can see them at Cinergy Field or at the Great American Ballpark. And that's sometimes easier said than done.
It's a combination. To win successfully as an organization, you have to draft well, you have to develop well, you have to make it come together at the major league level, and you have to add free agents and acquisitions from outside the organization. Here's Junior, a bouncer down to second. Vina has it. 2 quick ground balls to second, and there are 2 outs. Hey, stop by your friendly Dodge dealer and check out the new Dodge SXTs and grab life by the horns. The Reds have had a history and a tradition of great folks down at the minor league level, from coaches and managers on the way up to development, and they're in great hands right now with Tim Naring and Grant Greiser. Of course, the likes of Billy Doran and Buddy Bell over the years. Outstanding people who have spent their careers developing talent here. You know, one of the things, I think, Chris, that gave the Reds the opportunity to draft as many pitchers as they did this year is, you know, that Kearns Dunn double dip. and now it takes a little pressure off. 2 22-year-olds are here. They're your hitters. So you got 2 guys that you know are going to be around for a while. 2 young players that have made it already to the majors. Gives you a little bit of a break, and we all know you win with pitching in the long run, so overload on it now while you have the chance.
Yeah, remember in the minor leagues, you still have a couple of other guys the Reds are very high on. One, Willie Mo Pena, will be here in the major leagues next year, whether he's ready or not. His time is up as far as being able to be optioned out, so he'll be another outfielder who's got a talented bat that'll be at the big league level. So it's not like they don't have anybody else waiting in the wings. They've got some other players down there that can swing the bats a little bit as well.
Austin Kearns, the National League Rookie of the Month for the month of May. 5 homers and 17 knocked in for Austin. He's off tonight. Expect him back in the lineup tomorrow as the Reds continue their rotation in the outfield. Encarnacion 0 for 2 tonight. The Reds have only 3 hits on the night. A double by Casey, a single by the pitcher Hamilton, and a single by Wilton Guerrero, the pinch hitter. Encarnacion walks, a 2-out walk, and that's been the story. The Reds, a 2-out walk this inning, a 2-out base hit in the 5th, a 2-out walk in the 4th. So most of the time when they've had base runners, Jason hasn't had to work very hard to get out of his jam. And here's Casey. Mets Atlanta finally underway after the rain delay in Atlanta. Mets lead at 1-0 in the 1st. Chicago, Milwaukee scoreless now in the 4th. Florida 5, Philadelphia nothing in the 6th, and Pittsburgh leads Montreal 4-1 in the 7th.
Pretty close over there at first base. Jose Cardinal over to tell Encarnacion to snug it up a little bit. No reason to get picked off first when you're down by 7.
Inside to Casey for ball 1. This series is important for Cincinnati, but this next stretch will be equally important. Everybody begins interleague play. The Reds, after this series, will head to Anaheim for 3, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Casey, right center field. That'll drop in front of Marrero. Encarnacion will stop at second. So it's 1st and 2nd with 2 away. Second hit for Casey. He's 2 for 2 and a walk.
Well, Sean Casey has struck the ball twice very well against Jason Simontacchi. Picked up a double the first time up, walked, so he is 3 for 3 as far as plate appearances and being on base tonight. What Simontacchi has had a knack for doing tonight is even when the Reds have hit the ball hard, he's been able to get them to hit the ball right at the fielders.
So Case on first, Encarnacion out to second, and here's Aaron Boone. He hit a bullet at the shortstop Renteria, and out will come Dave Duncan to check with his right-hander. There is action. They're starting to loosen in the bullpen.
Well, these are 2 managers, Bob Boone and Tony La Russa, that love to use their bullpen. In fact, if you rank the relief innings in the National League, the Reds are atop the leaderboard with 201 relief innings. The Cardinals right behind them with 196 relief innings. So they're not afraid to go to the pen, although Jason Simontacchi has gone in his 4 starts 7 innings in 3 of them.
Dave Veers up and throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Remember, the Cardinals now have Steve Klein back. They're equivalent to Scott Sullivan, the everyday left-hander. So Veers now has become a middle guy and not just a setup guy. They'll use him, and he's been very successful over the years. So Casey's on, 2 outs, 2 on, and here's Aaron Boone 0 for 2. Now the Cardinals and Reds have both used the bullpen a lot. The Cardinals have the edge over the Reds in most categories in effectiveness of the bullpen. The only area that the Reds have been more effective is in fewer blown saves. The Cardinals have really survived thanks to their great bullpen. The Reds have been benefiting from the bullpen not just this year but the last couple of years. No balls, 2 strikes to Boone. You go up to Tony La Russa at 6 o'clock before the game. You say, how you doing? He said, don't ask me till 10 o'clock tonight. Well, right now, at 9 o'clock, he's got a start of a smile on his face. He leads 7-0.
It's amazing. That's the same answer that Bob Boone gave me today when I asked him how you doing. It looks better, Bob, doesn't it, given the fact that they're not going to have their center fielder Jim Edmonds in the ball game. He may be out for the whole series. He says, don't ask me now. I'll tell you whether it's better or not at the end of the ball game.
Hedge your bets. No balls, 2 strikes. Pop back and out of play. Count stays at 0-2 to Aaron Boone. There's Dave Armbrister right there, right into the booth. He saved one. Show him, Dave. From WLW Radio. And he gives the souvenir to the fans down below. Popped up. Under it is Matheny. He's got it. And the Reds will strand 2 more. Cincinnati is stranded 6 through 6. Bob Boone still looking for some runs on that scoreboard. There are none up there yet for the Reds. Right now, the Cardinals have struck gold, 7-0 over the Reds. We go to the 7th. Scott Williamson, 2nd inning of work. J.D. Drew leads it off. Pujols slot now occupied by Polanco, 2nd, and then Tino Martinez. J.D. tonight struck out his first time up, walked to lead off the 4th and later scored, singled in a run in the 5th and then later scored. His single made it 4-0. JD's alma mater, Florida State, heading to the College Baseball World Series. As the 8 teams are decided, they're on their way to Omaha, are on their way to the regionals this week, then to Omaha the next week. Right now we're down to 16. 8 more will be eliminated this week, and then it's on to Omaha in 2 weeks. Florida State's been the consensus #1 team this year. Sky to center. Under it is Griffey. He's got it, 1 away. Let's go to Jeff Picorro for an update pick.
Thanks a lot, George. You know, a lot of the Reds players are trying to downplay this series, saying it's just another game. But anytime you play in the division, it's very important. The Reds have been pretty good in the NL Central so far this year. They're 16-10, but against teams over 500, not so good, only 11-14. They've done most of their damage against teams under 500, where they're 22-9. The Cardinals, on the other hand, 24-14 versus teams in the NL Central. Very important month coming up for the Reds. The next 19 games they play in National League play will all be against division rivals. So a very important month coming up, guys.
And then throw in the games against those 4 tough teams from the West, too. This is probably their toughest month of the season. Cardinals, of course, have really made hay, Chris, on the Astros. Everyone thought the Astros-Cardinals series would be great this year, but so far it's been all St. Louis. They've beaten up on the 2 teams that you figured they had to beat so far, the Reds and the Astros.
Yeah, and the Reds have beaten up on the teams that they figured they had to beat as well just to stay in the race, and that would be the Florida Marlins, of course, they took care of, and the Milwaukee Brewers. In the division, though, the Cardinals have shown themselves to be very strong since coming back and beating the Reds in that huge comeback win a couple of Sundays ago. They have gone 14 wins and 5 losses.
1 ball, 1 strike. Line caught. Nice play by Walker.
Well, the Reds have turned in some fancy glove work on the night. Who knows what the score would be without the kind of glove work that Barry Larkin has turned in, and his Keystone counterpart Todd Walker here gets a good jump on a slow hit line drive right back up the middle. Our Ohio Lottery instant replay, and nice play, Todd Walker.
Good leather from the Reds second baseman. Saves another base hit, 2 away, and that'll bring up Tino Martinez. Everybody knew Todd Walker could hit, and while certainly no one has the range of Pokey Reese at second, he's worked very hard on his defense and has tried to impress upon people that he can play a pretty good second base, and he's been one of the league leaders statistically and defensive percentage at second. That doesn't mean that you're a Gold Glove second baseman, but it does mean you catch what you get to, and that's what Todd Walker's done. Reds will overshift on Tino. Larkin on the second base side of the second base bag. Tino 1 for 3, a single on a 3-2 pitch in the fourth that got the Cardinal rally going. Down the right field line, Casey giving chase. He'll run out of room. Tino's making a career of filling in for guys at first base. He went to New York from Seattle after Don Mattingly retired. Had a rough start there and then won the fans over. When he left at the end of last year as a free agent, fans were clamoring for him to stay. Signed a 3-year deal, and here he is in St. Louis trying to replace Mark McGwire. McGwire has not been around the ball club, but there are indications he may join the club. He's been spending some time out in Southern California, and also spending a little time with Troy Glass too, trying to help him. So spending some time of his own and a little baseball mixed in. When Anaheim comes to St. Louis, McGwire may make his way to the city with the arch and have a reunion with his Cardinal former teammates. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You'd identify that guy right there as a quiet leader. Not a vocal guy that'll get in your face, but he gives you substance in the clubhouse. That's what he did in New York. And until you start producing on the field, it's difficult to do that. He's trying to do it now. Swing and a miss. Williamson gets the punch out. A 1-2-3 for Scott Williamson. He's due up third when we return. Game summary. It's been all Redbirds thus far. 7 runs, 7 hits. Albert Pujols, a 2-run home run in the 5th inning, his 12th of the year. Jason Simontacchi, 6 innings, 4 hits. No strikeouts, but boy, he's gotten the outs when he's needed it. And the Cardinals, how about these numbers with runners in scoring position? 6 for 9 and 7 runs batted in. Add it all up, and St. Louis is cruising 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Todd Walker due to lead it off. Jason LaRue will follow, and then the pitcher's spot. The Reds hits tonight. There have been 4 of them. Casey had a double in the 2nd and a single in the 6th. Joey Hamilton singled to lead off the 3rd inning, and pinch hitter Wilton Guerrero singled. That's it. News and notes if you joined us late. The Reds first pick in the draft today, the number 3 pick overall, right-handed pitcher Chris Grueller of Liberty High School in Brentwood, California. Not only did they pick him, but they signed him. A bonus estimated to be at $2.5 million, so he's in the fold. The Reds picked predominantly pitchers in their first day of the draft. Draft will conclude tomorrow. Walker, right center field, hit pretty good. J.D. Drew going, and that will be on the warning track for at least 2. Walker will stop at second with a 2-base hit. Todd Walker's 12th double of the year. And it looked like either Drew or Marrero had a chance to catch it. Neither one ever got to it, and the Reds have a runner in scoring position.
That ball right in the seam for Walker's liking, and neither outfielder is going to get to it. You wonder if Jim Edmonds is out there. He probably gets this with no problem, but take advantage of what you can get. Walker gets a leadoff hit. The Reds have not had that opportunity very often. Just the 2nd time tonight the Reds have put the first runner on base.
So Walker's sitting on second, and here comes LaRue. Fly ball to center and a line drive out his last time up. Jason hit the ball right on the button last time up. Trying to get out of a funk that's got him down to the 232 mark. Now the components of the bullpen change a little bit for St. Louis as we go deep. Once you get to 7 and 8, Steve Klein, the left-hander with the Reds, of course, with 2 or 3 and sometimes 4 left-handers. Klein is the guy that Tony La Russa will want in there. He's got Matthews and Klein from the left side. Line drive center. That's a base hit. Here comes Walker. They'll send him in. The throw will go to second base, and the Reds have broken through. LaRue, a bullet to center field, and the Reds get a run at 7-1.
Well, even now with a 6-run lead, I doubt that Tony La Russa is going to give very much leash length to his pitcher, Jason Simontacchi. Good swing right there by LaRue. That ball trying to get inside on him, but he unjams him into left center field.
Out comes Duncan. Klein in the bullpen. Had lifted his hat as if to say he's ready. We'll see what Duncan will do. So far, he hasn't made a move to the bullpen. And while the pitching coach goes out there, we'll have a chance to tell you that the Reds are giving out free money on Wednesday, June the 19th. That's right. Be one of the first 10,000 fans 18 and older. Get a free copy of Microsoft Money 2002. Reds take on the Mariners at 7:10. Thanks to Microsoft, you can get free money management software. Microsoft Money 2002, an easy-to-use software that helps you quickly organize and manage your finances. Get your Microsoft Money 2002 at the Reds-Mariners matchup Wednesday, June 19th. Austin Kearns will come in to pinch hit for Williamson at the 9th spot in the order. A runner on first, still no one out as the Reds try to get back into this one. Austin hitting .315, 7 homers, 24 knocked in. During the month of May, the Rookie of the Month in the National League. And with a little dirt in his spikes, Jason will ask for a tongue depressor to try to clean him out. Pretty good numbers, Chris.
Not bad at all, considering his batting average is well over 400. Even he didn't think he was going to be able to sustain that. But 5 home runs for the month, 17 RBI, all tops among rookie players. Congratulations, Austin Kearns.
So here's Austin. No one out, 1 on. The Reds have a run in. Fastball down the middle for strike 1. Reds baseball brought to you tonight by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. Great to have you with us. First of 2 in a row from Cincinnati against St. Louis. Tomorrow we'll be back on the air. Real Reds at 6:30. Game will follow at 7. That misses inside. Larkin and other right-handers due up next. Then Dunn and Griffey, 2 left-handers. Encarnacion, then Casey, another left-hander. You'd probably figure that you'd get to face Kearns, maybe Larkin at the most, and then they'd go to the bullpen. There's a strike. Austin thought it was a little low. Home plate umpire makes the call, Doug Eddings, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A pretty good idea right there by Simontacchi. Once you get that low pitch call by an umpire, the idea now is to expand the strike zone. Go a little bit lower, go a little bit more outside, see if the hitter can't chase a little bit. Good plate discipline by Austin Kearns. One of the things that really makes he and Adam Dunn stand out among first and second year players. These guys just don't go fishing.
Great confidence for Simontacchi to throw that ball in the dirt with Matheny behind the plate, too. He smothers anything down there. 2-2. Line foul. Tried to get it in on him, but the quick bat of Kearns lashed it foul. The count stays 2-2.
Fortunately hit an empty seat. Not hard to find an empty seat tonight. Only 19,000 plus here at the ballpark for the beginning of a big series. Some Reds officials somewhat surprised at that.
Reds behind in season attendance from last year, hoping that this team that's been in first place for 39 straight days now can start to get some folks out to the ballpark. Into right field, Drew by the foul line, and fair territory has it. That's your first out of the inning. So Kearns retired on the fly ball to right, and here comes Barry Larkin. Larkin 0 for 3. Approaching the 100 pitch mark. Joey Hamilton exited after 81 pitches, 5 innings, 6 hits, and 6 runs charged to Hamilton. 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. Simontacchi, the lone reliever working in the bullpen for St. Louis right now. Klein loosening. And Marrero, I mean, he keeps looking down his right hand. He may have a blister developing too, Chris. We talked about Williamson the other day. Keeps fiddling with that index finger, looking at it, and Tony La Russa is going to come out and check him out. Cardinals don't need another starter to go down, and that'll be it. La Russa will take the young right-hander out. He's done his job, and Steve Klein will come in and try to clean it up. The Reds trying to get back in and trail at 7-1 while the pitching change takes place. We'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
Here's Steve Klein, fresh off the disabled list. This very capable left-hander had a tremendous year last year for the Cardinals. In 9 saves, 3-3 record, and a 1.8 earned run average. The number's a little bit inflated right now, but he hasn't had too many innings logged, not as of yet, because he's been disabled. 11 punch-outs, though, in 10 innings.
Came off the disabled list just last week. That's 10 innings of work in a little over a week. Trying to close out this inning. Jason pitched great. 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 run charged to him, no strikeouts and 3 walks. And Klein goes to work. Just like Scott Sullivan has led the league in innings pitched, Klein has led the league in number of appearances. Usually his appearances are shorter than Sullivan's, 1/3 of an inning, 2/3 of an inning at the most. And the Cardinals are glad to have him back as their main left-hander. They have he and Matthews out of the left side of the bullpen. Larkin pops it foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. Klein first sidelined with arm difficulties, and then while he was on the disabled list, he thought he had pulled something in his knee. As it turns out, it was a bout with gout. So that sidetracked him another week or so, and finally came off the DL this past week. Larkin pops it up. Polanco looking for room, and he has it. Larkin pops out, second out of the inning.
Well, it goes to show you what kind of confidence that Tony La Russa has in Steve Klein. He brings him in to face the right-hander, and of course he wants to keep him in here to face the big guy, Adam Dunn. No sophomore slump so far for that big Adam. 268 batting average through the season of 2001. This year he's up that. His home run total up there, walks way up there, and look at the on-base percentage, nearly 90 points plus higher than it was last year.
Breaking ball misses, inside, ball 1. Dunn was a Rookie of the Month in his own right last August. He shared that honor with Roy Oswalt of the Houston Astros, and of course Pujols here in St. Louis was a Rookie of the Month a couple of times last year for the Cardinals. Pujols started hitting 300 in April and never stopped. Ball and a strike to Dunn. Adam hit by a pitch, lined into a double play, and bounced to second. Nub foul, and it's 1-2. This is the 8th game between these two teams, and in the 7 previous, and this one included, Reds have been out-hit and out-pitched by the Cardinals. They've been the better team in just about every phase of the game so far in the season series. St. Louis has won 5 of the previous 7.
A great test for Adam Dunn right here, because Steve Klein is one of the premier left-handed relievers in the league. And Adam Dunn has given him a very good at-bat.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Emerson not only gets the ball, but he's got to be in a good mood. Ahead 7-1. He even gives it to a fan.
Wants to make sure he gives it to a Cardinal fan.
Looks for the red. You never know what you get here, just like in St. Louis. Red everywhere. On the corner. Dunn didn't think so. Said, no way I can hit that. The call made, the out made, and the Reds get a run, but that's it. 7-1. Joey Hamilton got burned by this broken bat single by Edgar Renteria to make it 2-0. That was in the 4th inning. And the hits just kept on coming. This one plunked into right field by J.D. Drew in the 5th inning to make it 4-0 after a hit batter and a ground out. And Fernando Vina again into the act too. He had not 1 but 2 runs batted in. This one in the 6th inning makes it 7-0. The St. Louis Cardinals in control. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Reds. And here's the newest pitcher for Cincinnati as Edgar Renteria comes to the plate.
Hard throwing right-hander Luis Pineda. Pineda started off terrific on the season. Back for a time there from beginning of April to mid-May, he had posted an earned run average of 1, but over the last 3 games, he's given up a run in each of those games. Been victim of the long ball.
Pineda takes over for Williamson. He went 2 innings, allowed a hit, a run, and a walk. Williamson struck out 1 batter. Hamilton went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits and 6 runs. It's funny how this game goes. Hamilton looked like he might have had some of his best stuff through the first 2 2/3 innings. A leadoff walk in the 3rd. A leadoff walk in the 4th. Each scored, and the Cardinals built up a 1-0 lead in the 3rd. A 3-0 lead in the 4th, and added 3 more in the 5th. Off Hamilton. It's a leadoff walk this time to Renteria, and thus far, each one of the walks that the Cardinals have been issued have scored.
That's the 4th time on the night the Cardinals have had a leadoff base runner due to a base on balls or a hit by pitch. That's a formula for disaster.
And that's the kind of train wreck the Reds have been involved in tonight. Here's Marrero. He walked and scored in the 3rd, singled, and bounced to short in the 6th. Cardinals have done the little things right tonight, and they've taken advantage of Reds' gifts, the walks and the hit batsmen, and not necessarily misplays. Cincinnati has not committed an error tonight, but a couple of times innings possibly were prolonged by throws to the plate that didn't hold runners, keep them out of scoring position, and those innings continued. Only 1 long ball tonight, and that was the home run by Pujols in the 5th, the 2-run shot. Breaking ball wide, 1-2. Tomorrow, Real Red 6:30, the game at 7. Jimmy Haynes against Woody Williams. Day game on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Anaheim will be on the air Sunday for the afternoon encounter. Then on to Texas. You get to see the brand new renovated Edison Field, and then on to Arlington. Two very fine ballparks, and 2 teams that are playing pretty good. Mike Scioscia has Anaheim playing great, and after that first 2.5 weeks at the start of the season, Texas has played decent baseball. 1-2. High in the air to center field. Griffey in, Larkin back. Larkin takes charge. Marrero's retired. The runner holds at first. Alex Rodriguez, as usual, one of the highlighters when you head to Texas. He leads the American League in runs batted in. Troy Glass been either 1 or 2 and runs batted in for Anaheim. So you'll see 2 power pack lineups. Boy, Socia really rescued that season from disaster for Anaheim. It looked like they were heading south, and they're playing good baseball.
It'll be a big night in Texas on Monday. The Texas Rangers will honor Ivan Rodriguez, winner of 10 Gold Glove awards. In fact, Johnny Bench will be on, and he'll also receive a plaque and throw out the first pitch in that ball game. Who also won 10 Gold Gloves.
Very doubtful Pudge will win it this year because he's on the disabled list. He started his rehab this week, but still a ways away from getting back. He has a herniated disc in his back, and he's trying it, see if it works, but he still may have to undergo an operation.
Hey, you're not sure. You know, Rafael Palmeiro won the Gold Glove a few years ago after being at first base for only 28 games. So anything is possible when it comes to that Gold Glove award.
Here's Matheny's sacrifice fly. Knocked in the 3rd run. Looped into right, sinking. Here comes Encarnacion. He got it. Got a chance for 2. Yes, sirree. Nice play, Juan Encarnacion on the run. He nips Renteria at first. Reds need to do some work with the bats. Heading to the bottom of 8. It's 7-1. St. Louis. Encarnacion's giving the Reds great defense, and here's a great example right here, Chris.
Yeah, you get a good shot of the jump that he has on this ball, and then how great acceleration he has right through the catch. He gets the ball out of his glove and on the run throws it right to Sean Casey. Good pick at the other end by Casey, and that completes the double play. One of the few highlights the Reds have to boast about tonight. Mike Matthews, a third of the pitchers that Tony La Russa has run out there. It's been a right-hander. Jason Simontacchi for 6 1/3. Steve Klein for 2/3 of an inning last inning, and here's another left-hander right now.
Mike Matthews takes over. 2 left-handers in the bullpen. Hackton, Steck Schulte, Timlin, Veers, and Isringhausen, the right-handers in the bullpen for St. Louis. Encarnacion due up second. Griffey leads it off, then Casey will follow 3rd in the inning. Matthews' 22nd game, 19 innings, 16 strikeouts. The earned run average 2.33. Missing wide, 2-0. Junior 0 for 3 tonight. The average now down to 188. Trying to get himself untracked after the prolonged stint on the disabled list from April the 7th to 2 weeks ago. Line drive under the glove of Renteria. There's a base hit. Junior's now within 3 of 2,000 hits for his career. Hey, all work and no play makes for a long work day when the Reds are in town. Thanks to Van Dyne Friday, you can take a break, head to the ballpark on Thursday for a Reds Cardinals matchup at 12:35. While at the game, drop your business card at a customer service desk for your chance to win tickets to the next business day special. Thursday, 12:35, thanks to Van Dyne Friday, the official outfitter of Red Stadium personnel. I want to say happy birthday tonight to John McNamara, born in 1932 on this date in Sacramento, California. Encarnacion sends it to left. At the warning track is Drew. He's got it. Griffey will retreat to first. So a base hit by Griffey. Encarnacion flies out. 1 0 for 3 and a walk. And that'll bring up Casey.
George, speaking of the draft earlier this afternoon in the 1st round, son of a former teammate of mine, Steve Swisher, his son Nick Swisher, first baseman outfielder at Ohio State, drafted in the 1st round by the Oakland A's. So congratulations to Nick. Haven't seen him since he was about knee high.
He's a little bigger now.
I guess he is a little bigger. Swinging a big bat for the Buckeyes this year.
Cecil Fielder's son drafted today, and John Mabry's son drafted as well. So some sons of former major leaguers. Here's Casey, one of the bright spots for the Reds tonight. He's walked and singled and doubled. 2 for 2 is Sean. Pop back, it'll be out of play. The Reds, of course, lead all organizations. Members of that Big Red Machine contingent in the 70s. 5 sons drafted in the first round. One of them sitting in the Cardinal dugout tonight. That's Eduardo Perez, Tony Perez's son. In fact, Eduardo was in the on-deck circle when the beanie was up. He probably would have pinch hit. Line by Casey. It's sinking. It's a foul ball. Now in the 8th, Florida leads Philadelphia 5-0. Pittsburgh leads Montreal 5-2 in the 8th. And the Mets still holding on, leading Atlanta 1-0 in the 2nd after their rain delay. Cubs 5, Milwaukee 2 in the 5th. Colorado leads the Dodgers 2-0 in the 2nd. Everything else later on. There's Eduardo. Making his home in St. Louis now. His wife Mirba has gone to St. Louis. She's going to school there, graduate school in St. Louis at Washington University. Tony and Patuca spending a few days with Eduardo in St. Louis this week, and Tony's come to Cincinnati tonight to visit with friends here. 1-2. Buzzes that fastball inside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tino gets a glove on it. The throw to second, gets by. Here comes Griffey to third. Casey will hold at first, and it's 1st and 3rd. That'll go as a base hit, and then Tino will be charged with an error for the throw that allows the runner to go to 3rd. Great play by Tino just to get a glove on it as Junior slides into 2nd.
Yeah, he's made some tremendous plays already. He'll pick up his first error of the year. Tino Martinez. Well, that's a tough one right there because the ball hits the runner, but he'll pick up the E because Griffey goes to 3rd base. The base hit will be awarded to Sean Casey, and Reds are just trying to put something together.
Good news for Junior. You saw the way he slid into 2nd and bounced up, fearing no ill effects for that right knee tendon injury that he suffered in April. So 1st and 3rd with 1 out as the Reds try to scratch something together. And here's Aaron Boone 0 for 3. Deep to left. Does he have enough? Going back is Pujols. That's going to be gone. A 3-run shot, Aaron Boone, and the Reds are making it a game again. Number 17, and the Reds have crept within 3. It's 7-4 now. And here's Todd Walker hitting 7th. Well, you want to do your business in this inning, Chris, because Jason Isringhausen up in the bullpen, and he's been nearly unhittable. So the Reds trying to get back in it, and it's now 7-4. 1 in the 7th, 3 here in the 8th. Reds remember full well the 8-0 lead they had on the Cardinals on the 12th of May. The Cardinals roared from behind, chipped away, and finally won at 10-8. I'd love to return the favor. Polanco has it. Go over to first. There's your 2nd out.
Well, he got one right there. And Aaron Boone trying to give a little body English to keep this ball fair. I was unsure whether it would stay fair. It did. It straightened out after it got up there a ways, and it had plenty enough distance. And with a couple of guys on base, that brings the Reds to within 3.
Boone's homer pulls the Reds closer. And with that, Tony La Russa will come out and make another pitching change as Walker's retired. Matthews, the left-hander, gives way. When we return, we'll check the pitching rotation. We'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
It's right here before Tony La Russa can bring the big boy in. Jason Isringhausen has been even better than almost unhittable.
And that layoff, we'll see if it affects Veers. Matthews pitched 2/3 of an innings, 3 hit and 3 runs. Veers needs to be down. That split finger pitch of his needs to be down around the knees. When he gets it up, he can be hit big time. Veers against Cincinnati, you see those numbers. Against Jason LaRue, Jason's 1 for 5 and a home run against Dave Veers. Veers has done everything for this ball club. He was the closer last year and the last couple of years until they signed Jason Isringhausen. This year, in addition to being the right-handed setup guy for a period of time, he was the main left-handed setup guy too before Klein came back. No balls, 2 strikes. He quickly jumps ahead. Workhorse kind of guy trying to get LaRue here. You see Jason, that 1 homer in his career. Gabe White loosening in the Cincinnati bullpen. LaRue's gotten his stroke back a bit tonight. He's 1 for 3 and has hit the ball hard twice this evening. A little off, way out in front, LaRue, and Dave Veers gets the 1 batter he faces in the 8th. Heading to the 9th, 7-4. Cardinals by 3. Thanks to Aaron Boone's homer. Reds are back in. Kerry Robinson announces the pinch hitter, so with Pineda on the mound, out comes Bob Boone. He'll bring in the left-hander Gabe White to face the left-handed swinging Kerry Robinson. At least that's the way the shape-up is now. And while the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
Gabe White, the left-hander, comes out of the bullpen for Bob Boone. 30 games overall coming into this contest tonight for Gabe White. It's been a tale of 2 cities for Gabe White. When he pitches at home, his earned run average way up over 4. When he gets on the road, it's under 1. Put them all together, and it's a 2-1 record with a 2.37 earning, 21 punch outs in 30+ innings.
And with the left-hander coming in, Kerry Robinson won't get a chance to swing the bat because Tony La Russa will go back to his bench, and Eduardo will come in to hit for Robinson. Eduardo Perez, first pitch swinging, skied to right. Right at the edge of the warning track is Encarnacion. Eduardo's retired. Only 46 at bats for Eduardo, 3 homers, 7 knocked in. Perez retired. First out of the 9th inning. They're going to the 9th inning in Montreal with the Pirates leading the Expos 5-2. Hermanson and Makowiak each have homered. Makowiak's hit 2, number 7 and 8. Florida continues to lead Philadelphia 5-0. They're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Now to the 3rd. Mets lead Atlanta 1-0. Estes against Marquee. Cubs 5, Milwaukee 3. 6th inning. Todd Hundley is homered, his 2nd of the year for the Cubs. They put 5 on the board in the 5th inning. Off Figueroa. Kerry Woods going for his 7th win of the year. And the Rockies 2 in the 1st, still leading Los Angeles 2-0 in the 2nd inning. After Francisco, San Diego, Houston, Arizona just getting started. Final now. Boston beat Detroit the final 10-5. Johnny Damon homered, hit a couple of doubles, 4 for 5. Carlos Baerga 2 for 5. So even though the Tigers jumped off to a 4-1 lead, the Red Sox came back to win it. John Burkett pitched great for the Red Sox. Red Sox have had pitching only a few times in their career, 67, 75, 86, and they went to the postseason in each year. Could this be another one for the men from Beantown? Vigna bounces it to Walker, over to Larkin, on to first, not in time. That's the only chance they had to get the speedy Vigna. Walker to Larkin and then on to first. No way Walker can make a throw with his weight and direction going the other way, and Vigna running.
You really have to decide early on as a second baseman how you're going to field this ball. If you go as deep as Walker and fields it right there, there's no way you're going to get him. If you try to cut the angle off, maybe you get him, but maybe you don't even get to the ball. So what's the next alternative? You flip it to your shortstop and see if you can't complete a 4-6-3 single play. Not in time. Good effort, though.
Vigna's surprised when he saw that ball coming over. I think he thought Walker was just going to put it in his pocket. So Vigna reaches. 3 hits for Fernando tonight, 3 for 4, a couple of runs batted in, and the pesky leadoff hitter's been a pain in the neck for Cincinnati tonight. Here's Polanco, who came in for Cairo 3 innings ago. Polanco's second at bat of the ball game. Popped back and out of play. At Yankee Stadium tonight, the Yankees are now leading Baltimore 12-5. They're in the 7th. Toronto's won 3-1 over Tampa Bay at Toronto tonight. Rain delay with the White Sox in Kansas City. Casey, does he have room? He does. Second out of the inning. Minnesota leading Cleveland now 5-1. They're in the 5th inning. Jim Tomei has homered his 16th of the year for the Indians. Indians showdown in the Central Division of the American League, trying to climb closer to the Twins. Texas Anaheim, Seattle Oakland just getting ready to get underway. That's the scoreboard update from Mark Wagner. Add a couple of more. Minnesota's now ahead 8-1, bottom of 5 hitting. Here's J.D. Drew, struck out, walked, and scored in the 4th, singled in a run in the 5th, and flied out to center in the 7th. Woody Williams against Jimmy Haynes tomorrow. Real Red 6:30 game will follow. There goes Vigna. Here comes LaRue's throw. Not in time. He got 3 steps on White. Even though White's a left-hander, he was off to the races. Gabe White looked at him, but never really had any intent of keeping him close.
Well, Jason LaRue has caught 11 attempted stolen bases on the year. He's given up 13. That computes to about a 45%, not including pitchers caught stealing. They ought to have pitchers not caught stealing category, because that's where that one would have gone. No way anybody throws out Vigna on that, not with the kind of jump that he had off of Gabe White. Left-handers can do that. They can pick you off and they can give you a running start.
Line by Drew into the corner. Encarnacion back over his head. Here comes Vigna. He'll score, and once again that extra base leads to a run for St. Louis. So the Reds have climbed to within 3. It's now a 4-run ball game again. It's 8-4.
Well, that's why Gabe White's in the ball game, to pitch to the left-handers in this inning. Namely Vigna and J.D. Drew. Just leaves a pitch out there for Drew, and he's a good hitter. He goes down and solidly strokes that ball to right field. These extra runs the Cardinals have picked up, 1 in the 6th off of Scott Williamson, and here in the 9th they make it a 4-run ball game instead of what would have been a 2-run ball game.
Here's Pujols. They'll walk him intentionally and face Tino Martinez, another left-hander. So Albert will walk. Albert tonight has stroked the 2-run homer, 1 for 4. His 12th homer of the year. You almost take it for granted that the Reds bullpen will keep things where they are, but tonight they've given up a couple of runs in the 6th and the 9th, and now Cincinnati trails by 4. So first and second for St. Louis with 2 away. Drew out at second after his second hit of the ball game, and Albert the intentional walk down at first. Tino 1 for 4, a single in the 4th inning. That's a strike. Casey has that. Race to the bag will be won by the Reds first baseman. And the inning over. But the infield hit, the stolen base, and the double produce a run. Casey and the Reds go back to work. They need some runs. Trail at 8-4 as we go to the bottom of 9 in the last roundup at Cinergy.
Wanted to see on the mound for the Cardinals tonight, unless it was a blowout the other way around, Jason Isringhausen. That extra run the Cardinals scored there in the top of the 9th inning will cause this ball game not to be a save opportunity for Isringhausen, but he's 15 for 16 in that category. And if you checked out the numbers, yeah, he strikes out a batter an inning, and his earned run average is less than 1.0. So good luck to the Reds as they need 4 to tie.
They're waiting to close the gate out by the bullpen before they get started as Isringhausen will go to work. Reggie Taylor, the pinch hitter, will lead it off, batting for Gabe White. Then the top of the order, Barry Larkin up. Isringhausen, major acquisition in the offseason. In fact, they thought they had just about finished their acquisitions when they picked up Isringhausen. They eventually signed Tino Martinez. They're in the winter meetings. Isringhausen, free agent, over from the American League, has really solidified the bullpen. He was one of the big 3 in the New York Mets minor leagues during the mid-90s. He and Paul Wilson and Pulsifer, the 3 of them were expected to be 3 starters and 3 big-time starters for the Mets in the latter stages of the 90s. All 3 of them had arm troubles. Wilson is the one who bounced back as a starter with Tampa Bay. He's had a good year this year. Isringhausen has come all the way back, and he's throwing better maybe than he did before the operation. Big time fastball, good breaking ball. 2-1. Reds need base runners. That's what Taylor's trying to do. Reggie 235, 2 homers, 10 knocked in, and 6 stolen bases. Reggie, the same week this season, picked up not only his first home run, but his first career grand slam as well. Line drive, left field, that'll sink and drop. 3-2 base hit by Taylor, and the Reds have a base run. A long way back, but you got to do it a hit at a time. Here's Barry Larkin. Flied out, bounced out twice, and then popped to the third baseman his last time up. 0 for 4.
You know, you usually see a defensive shift for a player to pull, but the Cardinals tonight with Larkin versus Isringhausen in the outfield, they simply don't believe that he can pull Jason Isringhausen. They are pulled way around towards right field. Larkin likes to go that way anyway, but the left fielder nowhere near that left field line.
There goes Taylor, no one holding him on, and there's a strike. And they will credit Taylor with a stolen base, even though they were playing behind him. Bounce down the third base line, but foul. One and two to Larkin. Reds trying to find a way to come up with another comeback, and this one might be their most improbable of the year because of who they're facing. Isringhausen has been brilliant. Bob Boone's club just never quits. Griffey, due up after Dunn, follows Larkin. Line, base hit, right field. Here comes Taylor. They'll hold him at third. It's first and third. And it's a good thing they did. Drew's throw is right on the money. But Barry Larkin gets a base hit, and the Reds have 2 on, no one out.
Well, 2 up, 2 on base, 2 nice opposite field hits by the Reds off one of the best pitchers in the game. That's a breaking ball that hangs up there for Larkin, but boy, he stays right on it and lines it sharply into right field.
And here's Adam Dunn. Dunn sitting on 11 homers, 36 knocked in. Tonight hit by a pitch, lined into a double play, bounced to third, and struck out looking. He's telling Tino Martinez to play behind Larkin at first, let him go to second. They're going to stop a base hit down the line. There goes Larkin. So it's second and third for Cincinnati. And it's ball 1 to Dunn. Griffey's on deck for the Reds. Cincinnati trailing by 4. The center field, this will be caught. Taylor will tag at third, and he'll score easily. The throw will go to third. Larkin will hold at second. Sacrifice fly for Dunn. The Reds pull a run closer. It's now 8 to 5. The difference with Griffey coming to the plate, Griffey would have been the tying run had not the Cardinals added that run at the top of the inning. Junior singled his last time up, 1 for 4. Now 3 hits away from 2,000 for his career. Fastball up high. This is Griffey's first at bat against Isringhausen in the game. Isringhausen's been steady right there at 95 miles an hour. Misses with the first 2, 2-0. Sends it deep right center field. Does it have enough? At the warning track at the wall is Marrero, and he's got it. 375 feet away. Marrero bounces off the wall and hauls it down. Larkin will go to third, but Griffey missed the 2-run homer by just a hair.
Well, the ball not carrying great tonight, but he got underneath that ball. Not sure whether it's going in or out. Hoping, wishing, praying that ball will die right at the wall and stay in the ballpark.
So the Reds down to the last out, 2 away, and here's Encarnacion. Larkin at third. Juan tonight 0 for 3 and a walk. Cardinals scored in the third to take a 1-0 lead on a run-scoring hit by Vina. They made it 3-0 with 2 more in the fourth. 6-0 with 3 in the fifth, and 7-0 with a run in the sixth. The Reds have come back with a 1 in the seventh, 3 in the eighth, and 1 in the ninth. Ball and a strike to Encarnacion. To right field, Drew getting a beat on it, under it, got it, that'll do it. 3 hours and 3 minutes of baseball, and the Cardinals have won another one against Cincinnati. Tony La Russa on the smiling side of this scoreboard. Thus far, the Cardinals have won 6 of the 8 games played between these two teams, and St. Louis has moved to within a game of Cincinnati in the Central. 8-5 St. Louis. We'll be back to talk more about it after these messages. Advance Auto Parts play of the game. That man Albert did it again. This home run makes it 6-0, Chris.
This guy going oppage. He goes out of here. That was a home run that really hurt the Reds a lot. He's got tremendous power to all fields. Does Albert Pujols, and again, he plays the part of a Reds killer.
His 12th home run of the year, 6 against the Reds in his career. Joey Hamilton went 5 innings, allowed 6 runs on 6 hits. He takes the loss. Simontacchi gets the win. 8-5. The Cardinals hold on to win it, and they have now taken all but 2 of the games played between these two teams. Reds will have to come back tomorrow, Chris.
They certainly will, but they've been able to do this all year long. They have had Bob Boone tell them, hey, 1 loss is a loss. Doesn't matter whether it's 13-1 or 1-0. This is a ball club that comes back and plays hard. Expect to see them to play tough again tomorrow.
Aaron Boone homered for the Reds, for the Reds' third baseman. His 7th of the year. Too little too late, though, as St. Louis wins it 8-5. We'll be back on the air tomorrow. Real Reds at 6:30. The game will follow at 7. For Chris Welch, our entire crew, this is George Grant. Good night, everybody. See you at the ballpark.